so I can start talking.
hmm
All right. Muffins. Hey, how's it going, man? We got a little bit of an impromptu VOD stream here tonight. Not streaming it live, unfortunately, but we are doing a bit of a recording for all of our friends out here on YouTube. So if you're an avid YouTube watcher, this is the video for you. You're getting that exclusive access from Neogen Esports. Welcome tonight, Muffins. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, we did have a little bit of a curveball thrown at us, but we're making do with what we got. We still wanted to bring you guys some top tier Neogen content. Unfortunately, we couldn't stream at the same time because the boys are being streamed on the Titan Esports channel. But in lieu of that, we're gonna do a little recording for you guys here, so we can still keep those VODs coming for you. So. We are a little bit late getting started. I'm going to pop over here to the draft screen, and we can just talk through draft here for a minute while the boys are getting set up on their in champ select now. So, Poppy, let's talk through this draft real quick. Let's take stock of what we got going on here.
Yeah, we got a pretty interesting draft coming from both sides. I'm seeing a few prio picks that definitely Neogen is quite comfortable on, as well as IMP here. This is a Vancouver team, I believe. Impact Vancouver Impact
Mm-hmm.
is who we're playing tonight in this week 5 here. So yeah, Neogen. They've got the Sivir, the Talia, the Lulu, the Xin Zhao. All of those pretty standard picks, if you ask me, Muffins. But the one here that's really a little bit different, the Aatrox for Cuddle. This is something we haven't seen before.
No, it's not. But Aatrox is extremely strong in the top lane right now. Super good fighter, able to really turn the tide of a game mid game when he shows up after that top lane coming in, around like level 10, level 11. He's such a menace to deal with. His damage is incredible. His sustain is incredible. Very good high impact top laner. I think Cuddle will be able to pilot this in a way that he's going to really demonstrate some skill. I actually think that I'm going to be kind of looking to Cuddle to be the carry on this side of Neogen for most of the mid and into the late game, and then transitioning that into Packy on the Sivir. I do just want to also take a look on the side of Imp. They've got a couple of really interesting pickups here. I know I was in the Discord with the boys last night. They were talking about this possible Karma pickup on the side of Vancouver Impact. That's such a strong support pickup for them and really difficult. The Karma Varus bot lane is so difficult to just survive in. That is going to be a really important lane, I think, for Neogen to go even with.
Yeah, I would agree definitely here. I think that's a really oppressive bot lane. It's one that the boys are going to have to really just try to hold on for life is really what we're looking at. So I definitely think that's one that you got to, keep in mind. Be careful there. Stay safe. Just use that Sivir wave clear to keep things going. The rest of the map, though, Aatrox into Cho'Gath, that's a good a matchup for Aatrox. The mid lane might have a little bit of problems. Orianna's pretty good against Talia. But Vuso, he's so strong on this Talia pick. I don't have any worries. And it looks like the boys have gotten in game here, so we should
Yeah,
be able to go ahead and start spectating this one really shortly. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be awesome. I'm really excited for this game. This is a really pivotal game here tonight, too, Muffins. I was in the chat with the guys a couple minutes prior to starting, and right now they're sitting really nice. 3-1 record in this Titan League.
mm-hmm.
One more win of a series, and they are going to be guaranteed into playoffs with a really high seed.
Definitely. And I mean, I don't know if it's just that this Titan League is not as good a competition. I'm not sure if they have just hit their stride. Maybe a little bit of both. But the boys have been playing so well recently. Really strong performance from them. And I don't know a lot about this Impact team. I don't know where they're sitting at record wise. I don't. Maybe we can take a look at that in the meantime during one of our breaks, and we'll come back to you with that. But I do have to say though, this Impact team is incredibly strong. This Sejuani Cho'Gath front line with an Orianna ball on top of either one of them, and then the Varus to just unload from the back line, going to be a really hard one for the guys to deal with. It's going to take a lot of effort, I think, but the Lulu should hopefully be able to keep one of them alive. Um,
Mm.
I do believe we are hopping into game here, so I'm going to switch over. Let's see if this is going to get us over to the right thing here. How are we looking? Let's see.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the Impact, Vancouver Impact, they are currently at a record of 2-2 in the league. So Neogen with the higher seed currently, but Impact has apparently been performing well and struggling to close out games is where a lot of their losses or defeats they tend to throw a bit into that later part of the game. So I think right now this is going to be a pretty important match for
Welcome to
Neogen to just
Summoner's
find
Rift.
their stride, get that secured playoff spot, and beat a team that is probably one of their harder matchups this year.
30 seconds until
Absolutely.
beginning
Okay.
scoring.
Sorry, Poppy. I was doing a little bit of some technical finagling in the background while you were chatting about that. But I do believe I've got the stream pulled up. We are in game on the recording. We're about a minute in. We came in just a tad late for everybody, but nothing. Didn't miss really too much of anything. Just a pretty standard 5 point. And Talia, Buso and the Talia is getting walked out by the Sejuani and the Oriana. But yeah, I think we're looking pretty solid. So hopefully this recording will look good for you guys on the other end as well.
Yeah, looks good over here. Quality is nice, and I think everything is going to be right as rain here on this VOD that we'll be casting over. A pretty standard early game coming up from both sides. A little bit of a fight for vision control on these Raptors. You see wards on both respective sides being found. A little light poking as well. Nothing too crazy here in this first minute or two.
No, and this is, I really think that we're going to probably be watching a lot of this bot lane if I had to guess. The Sivir is going to have such a hard time with the range of the Karma Varus. It's a lot of poke damage coming down from those two. The Lulu should hopefully be able to help mitigate at least a fair chunk of that with the shields alongside Packy's spell shield. But that is going to eat through a lot of mana and taking a lot of health on the other side. Cuddle looking for an early trade here before Cho'Gath hits level 2. Not a whole lot happening there. Trying to just keep the Cho'Gath off the wave.
And just here's a couple of stream tool tips for everybody too while we're getting acclimated to also doing the production side of things since we don't have our lovely Richie or Remy to help us here tonight. Control Shift Z, Muffins. If you're ever using this replay tool, Control Shift Z will allow you to zoom in and out with the scroll wheel on your cam so we can get a little bit of a better view here of the battlefield, which is always helpful. So anybody who's definitely getting into this biz, that's a pro tip right there for you.
We can also do a little tab to see our items, so we'll be doing that. And I do believe there's a way to check gold.
There is. I have no idea how to do that one. So we'll figure that one out here in just a little bit.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Anybody watching on YouTube afterwards, this is going to be a bit of a learning experience for all of us. So you'll be coming along the ride with us. But we did want to, we were just feeling, Poppy and I, we'd set aside a time. We wanted to get a quick cast in. We wanted to watch the boys play. Figured we'd bring you some content and maybe a little scuffed here or there, but we're gonna get you the content you deserve.
That's right, because here at Neogen, we're dedicated to this, right? We want to see this thing grow, and we're working hard behind the scenes and on the Rift. So, a kudos to everyone here at Neogen, and a kudos to everybody watching, whether it be on our Twitch streams, on our YouTube VODs, or if you're just a TikTok enjoyer. We really appreciate you here at Neogen. And you know what? But enough of this promo. Here we are in game right now. We are about 3.5, 4 minutes in. It's a pretty quiet game so far. Both teams playing it pretty even. A 200 gold lead right now for the side of Impact, but nothing too crazy.
No, nothing super crazy, and really not a lot has happened yet. Although I do see Prophet is looking for a gank up here on the top side of the map. On to Cuddle, for Cuddle. Cho'Gath is caught out, but he has hit level 5, and Sejuani's going to be there to show up. She goes in with the assault, finds a phenomenal knockup on both Prophet and Cuddle Bud, and they're going to pick up that first early kill on Zhao. And I'm not even sure Cuddle's going to get out of this one. No, he's not.
Yeah, Roam from Oriana does help secure the final kill there, and that is 2 going over to the side of Impact in this early game. Not a good start for Neogen, and that's definitely a lane that you really want to be winning here. Band Director, though, he's putting down some damage onto Worm Jones.
Worm Jones, my boy. They actually burned the heal there, just to stay alive from that damage from Band Director and Packy. Actually, both heals went out there from both supports. So, trade of summoner spells there for that trade. And it does look like they're just going to try to shove this tower in and get a nice reset.
Yeah, this is definitely a difficult spot, though, if you're going to be Neogen. You're just getting so much poke pressure in the bot lane here, and then also just losing those 2 kills up into the top side. Really not the way they wanted to start off. A nice counter gank from the Sejuani and the Orianna following in tow. Vancouver's going to be happy with that move.
I'm not actually sure, but it doesn't look like Cuddle had any vision in the river. I guess he was maybe expecting that with Prophet being there, he was safe enough. They hadn't spotted the Sejuani yet, but the late gank from the Sejuani was like insanely well timed from Zoob on Vancouver Impact. He shows up just at the right time as soon as they blow the cooldowns onto the Cho'Gath, and yeah, it was just good rotations, good macro, and good timing from Zoob there.
Yeah, can't say much more than that. They definitely played it well. Zoob and friends showing out in this game here. I mean, it's a pivotal game all around. This is one that Vancouver really wants to win, and obviously it's one Neogen wants to win too. Just in this tournament right now, in this season, every game is just so vital with limited weeks. And right now, Neogen has been sitting in a really nice position, you know, at 3 wins, 1 loss. But they can't afford to slip up. They can't afford to lose their stride. It's a long series. It's a best-of-3 series, but, you know, we'll see what ends up happening here.
Yeah, Sejuani actually looks for the early level 6 gank there, but Vuso able to spot it out on the ward as the Sejuani does her Arctic Assault over the wall. Vuso does have to burn Flash there, unfortunately, to dodge that ult from the Sejuani. He didn't want to take a chance. But he is going to be able to back, as soon as he shoves his wave in, and get a TP back to lane. He will just be without his Flash for this upcoming Red Terrell, or not Red Terrell, Wood Grubs fight.
Yeah, that's definitely a little bit scary, especially with the amount of CC that is on the side of Vancouver here. Now, it does look like Neo's trying to force this dragon here, but Vancouver, they have the first move here. They push the bot lane out. Vuso finds some good chip damage onto the enemy mid laner, but it might not be enough, and now the rest of the team is in tow. This is a bit of a scary choke to be fighting in.
Yeah, it is, and unfortunately, Prophet is down on a level on the Sejuani because of that early death. As well as the Orianna was, I believe, up a level on Vuso. Actually, no, I think Vuso was also level 7, but not having the level 6 on Packy or Band Director there for that dragon fight was making that a bit of a tough angle.
Yeah, I agree, and you're definitely seeing some scrapping happening both sides
wow,
of the but Packy really wants it. Goes really aggressive here onto Worm Jones, finds the kill with the help of the Lulu in stride, and look at the top lane. Cuddle's up there cutting down this Cho'Gath, and he finds himself a solo kill as well. That's a really nice pickup for Neogen, something they really need, and I didn't even see that one happen, but Vuso and the friends there find a kill onto the Karma on the back end.
Incredible.
Huge swing.
Incredible, incredible. I'm going to actually just take that back real quick. Let's do a little quick instant replay while they're catching up on that dragon. So Packy goes in. He gets a great pickup onto the Varus. The Karma has to flash. But then we go back to the top lane. Let's just take a quick peek back at this. Finds a great double knockup onto the Cho'Gath. And is just going to flash forward to pick up that kill. Incredible showing there from Neogen, and then also picking up that third. That's actually getting them the feat of warfare for those first 3 kills, and then they pick up this dragon on the back end. But we'll get back to how do we get back to? I guess I just drag this forward here and
drag it in.
All right, and we're back to live. We've got Impact. They're just picking up a 50-50 on the back end. They're just gonna go pick up these grubs. You know, Poppy, I kind of like this being in control of the stream here a little bit. I'm able to go back and do a couple of these, you know, not fully instant replays, can't slow things down forever, but nice to be able to go back and take a peek when we can't see it all happen at once.
Yeah, for sure. You know, we got a little more autonomy here on this production side, which is never a bad thing. But here we are, you know, 9 minutes into this game, almost 10, 2-3 in kills. Slight goal lead favoring for Neogen. A much-needed play that we just saw from Neo. They really needed to find that fight, get that objective control, and exactly when they needed it, it was able to happen. You're getting kills now onto some of your star players here. Paxax obviously shows out so many of these weeks, and he's been a pivotal force for Neogen. But now you're seeing a fight towards the mid lane.
Ooh, that was just super strong. Didn't spot the Sejuani going in there. I mean, look at this vision control here. One, two, three wards, and the Sejuani just comes from this side angle, finds a follow-up ult onto Vuso there, and of course Vuso with no flash is falling victim to another pickup kill. Poppy, let's take a little bit of a stock of where we're at here for items and kills. So, you know, Vuso down a little bit on CS as well as a kill now. The Orianna is probably going to back and finish that. I'm not sure. Is this a Luden's Companion? It is going to be the full Luden's Companion pickup, while Vuso is able to finish his Archangels. However, in the bot lane, Paki up a kill and also 10 CS himself. He's nearly completed this Yuntal Wild Arrows. Going to be a really good pickup for him when he gets that down as well.
Yeah, this is another one of those packy games. I mean, but look here, Prophet lying in wait, finds the gank onto Karma. A nice knockup from Vanderrector with that wild growth, and this Karma is not going to be going anywhere. But do they have the damage to kill? Taxax just doesn't have the range to kill this Karma. Prophet has to ult out. Worm Jones. Oh, Prophet with the flash forward on that wind becomes lightning, but it does not find the kill. Taxax and friends are now trying to get this wave pushed as quickly as possible. Vuso is now caught on the other side of this tower, and you've got Orianna here. This is not good. Vuso with an amazing Weaver's Wall to get out of there. Amazingly played by Vuso. Waits out the CC, and he's able to find his way out to safety. That was terrifying.
I can't believe that entire play. The barely missed flash W onto the Karma. Somehow the Karma lives with the empowered shield. And then Vuso just sneaking away with the Weaver's Wall after letting the Orianna blow her combo on. Wow, what a close play there. A couple of missteps, and that was an easy double, maybe even triple kill pickup for the side of Neogen.
Yeah, Neo got lucky, though, on the back end of that by not losing Vuso there. Nice timing on the Weaver's Wall, but a kind of scary gank. I was surprised they didn't have the burst damage to take that Karma down after the initial engage. It's pretty a testament to the Karma's shielding, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, God, Karma just has so much. Wow, they are looking for Vuso again. He has to burn his flash just to dodge that Sejuani ult.
Yeah, you know, Vuso finds himself being the recipient of a lot of ganks in these games, I find. You know, they burn that vital flash summoner on these somewhat squishy and immobile mage mid laners, and a lot of these teams just love to punish it when the flash is down. So poor Vuso again catching some heat this game.
Yeah, I mean, he's making the best of it, right? He's only 1-1. He is down about 20 CS, which is not so great. Actually, it's more like 30 CS now because he left that wave in the mid lane as well. But Cuddle is looking incredibly strong, freezing the Cho'Gath off of this top wave and able to just really bully him away.
Yeah, I think this is a good matchup overall for Aatrox. I mean, you can just see he out-sustains the Cho'Gath damage. Cho'Gath moves so slow that he's able to hit these vitals pretty consistently, which is a gigantic portion of Aatrox's damage and CC. So I think, you know, Cuddle's in a really happy spot right now. Well, what is the creep score as well for the top side here? What are we looking at? 113. Okay, so it's pretty even in the top lane. You know, Cuddle's got about a wave and a half on this Cho'Gath, which he's going to definitely be happy about, but it's nothing game-breaking.
I do believe we're going to have a little bit of a dragon take here. I'm not sure Neogen's even going to be able to show up for this one. No, they're not. Oh, wait, Paki wants to go in. He blows the ultimate, but they just kite away, and nothing happened in there.
Yeah, Neogen not really poised and in the right position to be able to take that fight. They blow a couple of spells there to try to make it happen, but at the end of the day, Vancouver's able to get a free dragon and walk away.
Yeah, I think they're going to be happy with that. Taking a dragon away from Neogen, I think Neogen's strategy here is going to be the dragon stacking. If they let Impact stack 4 dragons and get Soul with this frontline threat, oh my god, Cuddle coming out of nowhere from the side lane, blows the Orianna flash.
That's a big spell to get off of Orianna. Again, you know, one of these immobile zone control mages who does not really have any escape tool other than that flash. We'll have to see if Prophet's going to be able to capitalize on that missing sum. But things are starting to shift around the map if you look here. they've pulled their bot lane towards the mid here for Vancouver. So they're having a bit of a lane swap to trying to get some cryo onto this Herald pick, which could be a little bit scary. You know, Paxac stuck now down in the bot lane. He's actually the big damage threat right now for the side of Neogen. So not having them in this, you know, potential scrap here could be vital.
Yeah, and Orianna has TP available. They do have no flashes on both mid laners. However, Prophet still not having his flash for this fight, but Zoob does on the Sejuani. Both flashes on the top laners. I think we're going to have a bit of a scrap here for this Rift Herald.
This could be a little bit scary. I'm kind of worried for Neogen here. It looks like Prophet does dash over to take his approach.
Yeah, they're just going to give.
Yeah, a smart call, I think, in this situation. I think they would end up losing the Rift Herald and the fight if they took it here with that Orianna being able to TP and get there. So that was definitely a good move for the side of Neogen.
Definitely. Not having Packy there is, I mean, Packy's got his Utah finish with the lethal tempo. It's too much damage that you're missing out on that you're not going to have in that fight with the Varus there as well. I think it's the right call.
Yeah, definitely. You're seeing Cuddle. Here we go again, going a little aggressive on the top lane, but Sejuani is hiding in the lane. He might have been able to see, though, the Sed's passive did proc onto Joe, but watch this. There's a bit of a dive. A great spell shield comes from Paxax there to stop the ultimate from Orianna, and they do find the kill. That was really well played coming from the Neogen bot lane. But it looks like they're going to just end up losing top tower in retaliation, though. A nice move from Vancouver on the other side to get that Herald, find the kill onto the tower there.
I'm not sure about that one. I'm not sure what the Cho'Gath was doing with the Rift Herald there.
I don't think he wanted to ride it all the way into second tier. He was probably a little scared, so he just decided to call it off.
Not bad, though. They get a tower for tower in the bot lane, plus another kill onto Packy. Not the best situation, but certainly a decent one. Buso nearly sidesteps the Sejuani ult, but poor Buso. How many times has he seen that wombo?
Yeah, too many times has Buso been hit by Varus Chains of Corruptions or Glacial Prisons from a Sejuani. I mean, poor guy's really just catching it right here in this mid lane, and his flash was so close to being up.
Yeah, just not quite up yet. So close.
Another one for Buso, but that's okay. Buso's, you know, he's always able to rally. This Talia pick for him allows him to also just still be, you know, he has effect in this game regardless of his scoreline. Talia has so much CC and so much utility in her kit that it's like the same thing as when you play a tank, right? Doesn't really matter how bad you do, you're always going to have some relevance.
Okay, they pulled the Cho'Gath again, leaving the Orianna in the top lane by herself, and they pulled Cho'Gath down here for this dragon fight. Prophet is finding the Cho'Gath in the brush. God, that's a lot of damage from the Cho'Gath.
I don't think that's the one you're going to want to find in the brush there. Prophet just, you know, getting absolutely cut down by the Cho'Gath's damage there. Prophet having kind of a difficult game right now, trying to find his way in and to be impactful here. But it's definitely been a hard game for Prophet. He hasn't had a lot of successful ganks. That early counter gank from the Sejuani really killed his tempo as well. It just looks like it's kind of lulled out now. It's a wait for this next dragon that's going to take place. You know, it looks like Vancouver here really trying to find this position. They're now starting to move together into these wars. Prophet getting a little wind becomes lightning onto the Sedge, but that's such a tanky front line right now. It's going to be really, really difficult for them to be able to beat it down.
Yeah, they're just waiting for the Sejuani ult to almost up again. They're just looking to go for an engage, but they do get a good knock-up on the Lulu to stop the engage. Prophet, or I'm sorry, not Prophet, Buso hits a great Weaver's Wall. They cut off the team and they start chopping down Warren Jones. Zoog gets in the front of Packy, but Packy is just chopping him up. Koto gets right in there into the fray. Gets a great knock-up onto the Warren Jones on the Varus. Packy goes in the backside, and they are just kiting this super, super well. Packy, great spacing, but he does go super low due to this Cho'Gath, and he has to back out. That's going to be a 1-for-1 on this dragon fight, but Prophet still being up and nice and healthy. He's going to look to try to take this dragon.
Yeah, big fight coming up from Neogen there. You know, Cuddle almost looked like he just could not die in that fight. Oh, Ori gets
gets
caught by the
caught.
Unraveled Earth. Knocked back. Uso finding the damage onto him. Paxax with a nice Q over the wall, but just not enough to kill the Orianna. Prophet now wants to try to find it, but it looks like Cho'Gath has re-engaged into this fight. Zoob is there as well, and it looks like Neogen gets routed. They're going to end up losing the dragon on the back of this extended engagement.
Yeah, unfortunately, that Cho'Gath is just so too healthy for this fight. They're going to try to chomp this down, but they're not over yet. Look, Buso is coming back in. He wants the TP. Nah, I think maybe he's just going to catch that wave, and he's not going to go for the engage. Unfortunate fight there. I kind of want to take this back and just take a look at this fight one more time and see kind of how things unfolded. Let's slow it down just a little bit here. So we get the TP in from Cuddle. They just disengage away from this TP. It's a great Weaver's Wall from Buso. Knocks the Cho'Gath away. A great knock up there. Good damage onto Worm Jones. He nearly dies.
If they could have finished off the Varus right there, it would have went so much better. But the Karma shielding and the barriers, they kept Worm Jones alive for so long. And there's another Karma shield. Worm Jones was able to live for such a long time in that fight. If they would have just been able to take him down a couple seconds earlier, I think that fight would have ended in disaster.
Yep. That was all Karma, that fight. Incredible Enchanter support, just dumping shields onto their carry. I love it.
But it does look like it will be a dragon that ends up going over to the side of Vancouver here. Impact happy with where they're at in this game. Up by about a K in gold, nothing crazy, but this front line for them is pretty dang strong. This Cho'Gath sitting 2-1. The Sedge 1-0. The Ori also 2-1. This top side of the map for Vancouver is really a problem.
Yeah. I mean, just look at the gold differential here. About an 800 gold lead on Cho'Gath, about an 800 gold lead on Sejuani, about a 1.2k gold lead on Orianna. Now they're starting up this Atacon. Neogen wants to contest, but I just don't see what the angle is for them to get in here. The Weaver's Wall comes out. They actually cut off Zoo, but he's just gonna Arctic Assault over. The Bear Assault comes down. They're gonna lock up Prophet. Is he gonna be able to survive with the Lulu Wall? He is. The Atacon getting ever increasingly lower. The Cho'Gath is going to be able to secure this one, getting another chomp on the back end of that. Prophet's not done yet. He goes back in, but the team just can't follow up.
Yeah, there's just not enough damage coming out to chop through this gigantic front line from the side from Imp here. I mean, it's crazy right now. They took so much punishment from Paxax and the rest of the gang to try to take them down, but it is like an impassable wall, a rock mountain you're trying to break down with toothbrushes. It's terrible.
The Sejuani and the Cho'Gath are incredibly strong right now. I mean, the Cho'Gath at 200 Heartsteel stacks already has the Thornmail finish plus the plated steel cap boot upgrade. That's so much armor, and really the only person that is able to chop through this Cho'Gath and Sejuani is Paki. But he doesn't really have any armor pin right now. I mean, he's got the crit items, he's got the Yuntal, he's got the IE. But if it's just him and he can't get in there to auto-attack, there's nothing happening.
Yeah, he's got to work hard to get to this LDR. I think that's really going to be the big item pickup for him to actually find some damage in these fights against this Cho'Gath and Sejuani combo. Their damage is just insane. Buso also needs to have that Leandries to really do anything as well, but even then, I mean, look at this. It's laughable. Cho'Gath's walking away. He took about 5% of his health after all that from Buso.
Yeah, it's just really not a good situation to be in. You don't want to be staring down the barrel of an already tanky Cho'Gath for 20 minutes because he's only going to get tankier.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting position right now. I think right now this mid game is really, really strong for Impact. And something Neogen just needs to hold on. They need to try and do their best to keep the gold lead from going completely out of control. You know, contest the objectives that matter. Even at this point, it's still okay to give this next dragon. It's not the end of the world. It'll put him on Soul Point, but it is not the Soul Drake. Neogen needs to scale to where they can actually deal with this gigantic tank threat. You know, once Cuddlebun scales up and gets a couple more items, and he can actually start just chopping away and hitting those vitals onto these beefcakes, he's going to be in a much bigger position. I think really that's what Neogen has. They got to scale.
I'm actually curious if maybe what the play is here is a combination of Paki! The jukes. That was incredible jukes for Packy there. Just press the S key and watch the ultimate fly by. What I was going to say, though,
nice.
Poppy, is, I really think what would be a great way for them to take these fights. A Weaver Wall to split the team in half with Cuddle Bun on some sort of flank to get onto Worm Jones on this Varus in the back line. They can't afford to go through the front line of Impact. They've got to find these angles where they can split the team with Vuso and get a flank. But look at this cheese. They're setting up a bush. Prophet is kind of suspecting something, and Cho'Gath just walks out of the bush. He kind of spoils the surprise. I don't know, Neogen's a bit separated here without their players in the position that they want them to be in.
Yeah, it's a little scary right now. I mean, how do you really walk into this bush? I mean, Cho'Gath just doesn't take damage right now. This guy is so tanky, it's insane. Trying to find the knockup onto the team, but it does look like Neogen has been able to force them to that long rush here. Now it's just a poke game. Who's going to get enough damage down before the full engagement takes place?
Good dodge from Banderector on that knockup from the Cho'Gath. The dragon has been started. So, okay, Cuddle's in on Worm Jones. He's found the angle. He's got the Lulu ultimate, but he just gets chopped down. Prophet gets in there with his ultimate. Packy's doing incredible damage on the back line. They've just got to kite this away.
Nice flash forward to kill the Orianna there. Packy does line, but Packy just got to stay alive. There's just too much health on the side of Impact. Prophet is able to find the Dragon, though, on the back end of that. A nice pickup on the objective. It ends up being a 4-for-2 in favor of Impact, but Dragon does go to Neogen.
Not the end of the world. Unfortunately, it was honestly the knockup from the Cho'Gath is what turned that fight. The knockup from the Cho'Gath plus the Arctic Assault on the Sejuani. Really good chain CC onto Packy, and he's just not able to... Unfortunately, he's got Cleanse, but that doesn't help you with a Cho'Gath knockup or a Sejuani knockup. So the Cleanse didn't really help him anymore in that fight. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Tough one.
It's a scale, though. It's a scale. These fights, you could tell how much damage the Sivir is doing. Those boomerang blades, the bounce damage that was taking place in that fight when they were all huddled up was astronomical, actually.
Yeah.
Paxax just needs to keep on scaling. Where's he at on this item here? What are we looking at here on Packy?
He's got the Last Whisper finished. He's got the Doom Quiver finished. I'm not sure if he's actually going to complete that LDR first, or if he's going to go for, what is the Doom Quiver build into here? I suppose, like, that's not,
I'm not sure. A Navori potentially
yeah, I was
might
say,
be going for here?
Well, yeah, either Navori or I guess, no, because Quick Blade also replaces IE, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
So I think they're two unique crit items. I wonder if he's actually going for, it's not an Immortal Shield though, is it?
It might be. I think, though, he's got to finish his LDR.
Okay,
without
it was
LDR,
it was the LDR.
Yeah,
LDR
okay.
does have Immune Quiver in the build path. I wasn't sure if that was the case or not. But he does finish that LDR. So he's got the 3-item spike, and they are positioning a little bit for Baron here. They pick up the Scuttlebug to give him some extra vision now.
Yeah, 'cause what honestly, Vancouver's missing is a lot of damage in their comp, right? They have so much front line, but they're lacking damage, where Neogen has the damage, but lacks the front line. But now, as the game goes later and later, it benefits Neogen. They're able to soak up more damage. The Xin Zhao, the Aatrox can take more punishment, and Vuso and Paxax have a ton of consistent DPS damage, where really it's only Worm Jones on this Varus on the side of Impact.
Yeah, unfortunately for Neogen, Worm Jones is 0-3. He's not as accelerated as Packy is. That's a phenomenal survival skills from Band Director there. I don't know how he walked out of that one, but they did have to burn the Sivir ult to give Band Director enough movement speed to get out of there with his zoom.
Yeah, Packy playing a nice bodyguard role right there with his spell shield and his cleanse. He's just saying, throw your CC at me. It doesn't matter. I'm going to be able to block it. I'm going to keep my little Yordle friend alive. You love that camaraderie, that friendship, the love in this bot lane. You can see it.
Let's just take a little peek at the items here. Wow, this Cho'Gath. I did not realize how ahead this Cho'Gath is. He is, oh my god, he's 2.5k above where Cuddle is sitting. This Cho'Gath is where all their gold is actually on this team.
Yeah, Muffins, he is thick with 2 Cs. This Cho'Gath is gigantic right now. But again, I think late game, this becomes the detriment for the side of Imp, right? The Cho'Gath, while he does a lot of damage, he can't solo carry as a tank. He just can't do it. He needs the damage from his back line. Varus obviously able to pump out good DPS, and Orianna can too to an extent, but not as consistent, in my opinion, as the damage coming over from Neogen.
No. No, I think you're totally right about that, especially because Cuddle and Prophet are going to offer a lot more damage than Sejuani and Cho'Gath will. I mean, but look at how little damage Cuddle does to Cho'Gath. It is actually laughable how, like, I think he actually healed from that fight.
Yeah, that is not good. And now the rest of Imp has shown up here. Vancouver trying to find the fight. Cuddle does get stunned, but he's able to get back to the tower in time. And the rest of the team's here.
God,
And it looks like there might be a bit of a scrap. Paxac with a nice shield. Doesn't take damage, but he gets absolutely chomped by Cho'Gath. He got one shot. That Cho'Gath ult did like 80% of his health. Oh my god.
I liked the heads-up play from Packy. He spotted Worm Jones on the ward and thought he could chop through Worm Jones quick enough, but between the barrier plus the empowered Karma Shield and they burned heal for that, he just sustains through it all, and now Cho'Gath and friends are going to just go walk over and take this free Red Bull Baron. And that's going to be the first Baron of this series, going over to Impact. Not a great, not a great situation for Neogen to be in. That's unfortunate for them.
Yeah, the Red Bull Baron, not sponsored by Red Bull Baron Power Play, goes over to Impact here. Prophet tries to find the fight here. It looks like onto Ori, but he's just going to end up getting picked. It was a bit of an interesting take on that fight. They're all rotating towards his dragon. Now Prophet's running for his life, but is he going to get away? Nice footwork, but it's just not going to be enough to live. Zoo picks up the kill on the back end there, and now Neogen looking like they're coming a bit unraveled here. Vancouver Impact has the Baron. They're going to get the third dragon here, and Neogen's just trying to push down mid. This is a difficult position to be in.
It is. I mean, that's one of those plays that it's kind of like high risk, high reward. If Packy is able to catch the Varus sleeping there, one more auto attack before those summoners come down, I think Worm Jones is dead. So, like, I like the aggression from Packy to try to find that pickup because he didn't know that he was on a ward. He was kind of by himself. I just don't think Packy knew that the Karma was right behind him. Otherwise, like, you pick Varus there, and that's a free Baron for Neogen.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it just did not pan out that way. And now Neogen, about 6k down in this game, soul point for the side of Vancouver Impact here. This is going to be a hard one to claw your way back from. You know, I think they really need to stop the bleeding here and just slow the game down. Get those levels they need, get the creep they need, try to get, you know, your third and fourth items completed for your main characters here, and then go for the fight.
Yeah, thankfully, Packy has pretty good way clear. Oh my good god. This Sejuani Cho'Gath is an immovable fortress.
Taking absolutely no damage and just chomping Neogen up. That Cho'Gath damage is insane right now.
Yeah, I mean,
8-1-2.
8-1-2, 3-0-10 on the Sejuani. It's really just the top side of the map went absolutely crazy this game.
Yeah, that's a difficult position to be in. Neogen's really struggling here in this fight, in this game. It's just going to be so hard for them to come back. They had such a great opportunity to kind of wait it out a little bit. Things were way more even 3-4 minutes ago. But now you're just seeing Vancouver Impact just taking towers around both sides of the map here. Mid lane falling, top lane falling. It's just going to be so hard for Neogen to find an angle.
I mean, even with the wave clear they have on Packy and the poor siege that Impact has, they still take a tower and inhib, nearly complete a second tower take, and they're just going to reset and get themselves prepared for this upcoming dragon.
Yeah, and the level discrepancies here across the board as well are really difficult too. If you just look, the mid lane, level 18 for this Orianna, Vuso only level 16. Level 16 for the Sejuani, only level 14 for Prophet here on the Xin Zhao. It's just been a very difficult game for both Vuso and for Prophet tonight, even from the very early portions of this game.
100%. They've
held on, but it's getting difficult. It's getting hard to come back.
Yeah, 100%. Prophet's impact on the Xin Zhao has been, unfortunately, I don't want to say non-existent, but a bit lacking. He just isn't able to survive in these fights and lay down any damage. Vuso is
thwarted.
I'm not sure if that was a troll or like I don't really know what to think about that one. Muso just
You
trapped
know,
Profit in between the two walls.
I think Neogen's scrambling here, Muffins. I think Muso was running for his own life in that one, and he
Muso's
sacrificed his poor Xin Zhao in that fight. That was really unfortunate.
Yeah, that was a bit of like, I don't have to be faster than the bear, I just have to be faster than you mentality.
Yeah, this is a good difficult
I don't
I know
have
I've
to be
said it a
faster
lot,
than
but
Cho'Gath, I just have to be faster than you. He surfs by on his rock wall, leaving Prophet to just die.
oh man, yeah, that's difficult. Now here we go, another fight's taking place in the bottom. It's kind of a desperation fight. See what you can get, but it just doesn't look like Cho'Gath takes any
Look
damage.
at this Cho'Gath.
Even with
Packy is killing himself.
putting it, I know, he's putting as much damage down as he can, but
Oh
this
my
Cho'Gath takes no
God!
damage. Walks up and just noms Packy here, and this is going to be all she wrote for Neogen. They just cannot kill the front line here of the side of Vancouver Impact, and it is just too much. And you're seeing the pings go down. Paxac spam pinging the Cho'Gath. Incredible performance from Choros here on the Cho'Gath for the side of Impact. It does look like Vancouver is going to put the nail in the coffin of this game one. Neogen goes down in this series. Unfortunate.
All right, I'm gonna take let's take a quick like 2-minute recap here, and then we're gonna take a short break. I'm gonna just pop it onto the BRB screen for everybody here on the VOD while we get things going on the back end here. Just bear with me while I try to figure out this this situation. Actually, I'm just gonna leave it on. I'll leave it on draft for now. I'll leave it on draft. Yeah, I mean, Poppy, you know what I was thinking in that game too. You know, if we think all the way back to First Blood, this early gank from Prophet at level 4 on the top side of the map, and then Sejuani showing up with this late gank to turn it into a double kill. They set Prophet back, they set Cuddlebun back, and even though Cuddle does end up picking up another kill in the Cho'Gath, it was enough of a lead for the Cho'Gath to be able to stay alive and to show up for the fights when he needed to. And then once the Cho'Gath started leaving top lane, it was kind of it was too late.
Yeah, that game was just really difficult from the get-go, like you said. They didn't find the lead they needed top side. I really got to give some props to Sejuani, the jungler for Impact. He played a really clean game, counter-ganked Prophet at pivotal moments, and also found a lot of big picks into the mid lane here against
Yeah,
Fuso,
yeah.
abusing the lack of flash multiple times, and it really just put
Mm-hmm.
Neogen's top side pretty far behind. Pack Sax and Band, again, such a great duo in the bot lane. They played really well all game, but it just was not enough to chop through this just meat wall that Impact had in front of them.
Yeah, yeah. I think that was just it, you know, it could have gone. Like you could talk about what ifs all day long. I imagine if Packy doesn't end up dying there for that right before that Baron fight, they may have been able to keep the game slowed down enough. Even if they don't give away that kill, but they just give away the Baron. I wonder if they maybe would have been able to turtle out that Baron and be able to take another fight for the Dragon's Soul or for the next Baron when Packy was a little bit stronger. But to be honest, even after seeing the damage that Packy laid down on Cho'Gath in that last fight, he couldn't kill the Cho'Gath fast enough before the Cho'Gath was just able to run at him and nom him anyway. I don't know if it would have mattered. I think they needed Cuddle and Xin, Cuddle on the Aatrox and Prophet on the Xin to be strong enough in order to assist with that damage, because otherwise I just don't think it was going to happen.
Yeah, an unfortunate turn of events for Neogen. They just weren't able to hold on long enough to meet what they needed, get those pivotal items and levels, and catch back up. A good game going over to their Vancouver Impact. We'll be right back in just a minute here as we get into Game Two's draft, and we'll see you in just a few. All right, and we are back here in the Game 2 draft. Neogen Esports is going up against Vancouver Impact here tonight. We saw Game 1 ended in a defeat, unfortunately, for Neogen, but this is a best of 3 series, fearless draft, so fear not, Neogen can still come back in this here. We are seeing the first rounds of bans got powered through by both teams. They know exactly what they want to pull out of here. Neogen decides to take away the Lucian, the Kindred, and the Rise, while Impact has taken, well, looks pretty normal here. The Amumu getting taken away from Profit, no Ziggs for Packy, and no Cuddle Bun Urgot. I mean, but that happens every game, so I shouldn't be surprised to see that. Impact decides to first pick here on blue. They are going to get the Caitlyn, nice long range controlling AD carry in the bot lane. Neogen finds the Pantheon being picked up for what is presumably going to be Profit in the jungle. And could this be a Smolder angle? No, it won't be a Smolder angle. It looks like they're going to end up picking for Vuso here. Aurora going into the mid lane. Kind of a scary pick to blind an Aurora. I'm not sure. I mean, Vuso obviously very comfortable on this pick, knows how to pilot it well into a lot of matchups, but still just pretty scary to blind this one. We'll have to see here what Impact is going to go ahead and pick up in retaliation to these picks from Neogen. Any second now. Pact, what are you going to do? Vancouver chooses to pick the Lux. This could definitely flex, but a Lux Caitlyn bot lane is incredibly oppressive. The control and the range is just magnificent in a bad way for Neogen. Impact's going to be happy with such a strong bot lane. We'll see if they end up rounding it out, most likely with the jungle pick. And it might end up being the Poppy being piloted. Again, could still be flexed here as well, but most likely going to be the Poppy coming in the jungle to try to counter the Pantheon jump and the Aurora hop. I think this is a good heads up pick from Impact. This is a smart move here. A champion that just has a lot of utility. I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. Neogen, another tried and true Neogen
Yeah.
comp coming
Yep.
through. Misfortune, baby, on that Packy.
This should be pretty good. I mean, what I'm worried about, this Caitlyn Lux bot lane is going to be so oppressive again. But
Yeah.
honestly, Packy and Band Director played the previous lane pretty well, though, into a not super favorable matchup.
Yeah, for sure. I think they actually were the shining stars on the side of Neogen last game. They didn't have a great matchup, but they still made it work. They came out ahead and they did, they showed some hands and they beat the side of Impact's bot lane. And I think that's a factor, we've seen in all these weeks of Titan and all these scrims and everything that we've casted over. The bot lane from Neogen just goes hard, man. Band and Paxax, they just absolutely crush probably 90% of the lanes they go against in these matches. Such a formidable duo, and it shows how high the bar of skill that they have is and how hard it is for these teams to meet it.
We're also seeing Braum banned. So maybe they're thinking it's a Lux mid.
Maybe, yeah. I'm not sure here. This is definitely an interesting pick. I think that probably would have just banned a top laner at this point.
Yeah, they
But
banned out the
again,
Mundo, but not unless he plays Braum top.
it could be the fabled Triforce Braum attack speed build where he just smashes the door into you 900 times. It's possible.
Look, Poppy,
And
I'm not saying
Leona,
that I've seen you throw a game in solo queue on the Braum Triforce build, but I've seen you play some pretty silly things top lane.
yeah,
Nothing as good as your Nami top.
I don't think anything will ever beat the Nami top. That was one of those glorious old school moments where it was just an expression of true power that I showed. But you won't be seeing that in this game, unfortunately, because it will be Mordekaiser getting picked up for Cuddle Bun here. This is a
Super good.
big pick for Cuddle. This is one of his top champions that we've seen him play. I really like this pickup, and
Yep.
we're gonna have to see what Impact is gonna have to answer with that.
Yep. I like this. I like this pick from Cuddle. It's a comfort pick. It's a safe pick. It's a strong pick. It's a lane bully. Really good ability to just take somebody out of the fight, whoever is ahead. The Gragas, I imagine that's not a particularly
strong matchup into Mordekaiser, but it's probably not weak either. I feel like Gragas just kind of goes even with most people.
Yeah, Gragas is the great nullifier in top lane, right? He's so easy to go even on. And Gragas is fine with being in that position. He doesn't really let you run away. He doesn't normally dominate the lane, but he's just such a good nullifier.
So it is a
Strong
Lux mid.
CC. Lux mid, yeah, and they pick up a Bard to round out their team comp here on the side of Vancouver Impact. We'll have to see what Neogen's going to pick here for their final pick.
This is a pretty interesting comp they have here. I suppose it's a bit of a. It's not quite like a front to back. It's almost more of like a pick comp, right? You have a Lux bind, you've got the Caitlyn traps, you got the Caitlyn ult, you got the Poppy knock up and tackle. You can separate the team away, and then the Gragas ult on top of that. It's a lot of ability to set up super strong picks, plus the Bard ult, right, to lock somebody down and then easily set up those CC chain. And then Neogen, of course, they're just going for the Wombo, right? They're going for the Maokai ult into a Misfortune ult, into an Aurora ult, into a Pantheon ult. Mordekaiser, Cuddle on the Mordekaiser is just going to walk at the enemy team with his field up and have a super strong presence just walking at them. I feel really good about Neogen's draft here. Again, though, I think they're going to lack a little bit of damage if Packy does not get ahead on the Misfortune.
Yeah, I think Neogen has a nice comp here. I think it's well-rounded. I think it's actually going to be a bit stronger than Vancouver Impact's uh, comp here, in my opinion. I think the Lux not going in the bot lane with Caitlyn is going to actually end up being a net negative for Impact, right? I think that lane is so oppressive and strong that you now give Neogen a much easier window to find a lead in the bot side. And
Yeah.
that's really where Impact needs to shut Neogen down. They did a good job at stopping them
Mm-hmm.
across the top side of the map last
Mm-hmm.
game, but they don't have the same characters this time. They don't have the impassable wall like they had in the last game.
No, they don't. I mean, Gragas Poppy is still a formidable front line. Don't get me wrong, but Gragas and Poppy don't necessarily build just these straight up tank items, and they don't have the same kind of tools and ease of access. You know, Gragas barrel can be missed. Body slam, not the most difficult skill shot to hit, but still a skill shot after all. Poppy, got to find the right terrain to get that knock up into, or I'm sorry, get the tackle into. Not necessarily as easy to pilot as the front line was last game. Of course, if they do get as ahead as they do, could still be problematic. But the nice thing too is that Poppy, there's not a lot of dashing or hopping happening on the side of Neogen. Yeah, can stop the Pantheon stun, can stop an Aurora dash, but overall, that's not really the bread and butter of this Neogen comp. They're looking to set up this MF ult.
Yeah, definitely so. I think Neogen's pretty happy with where they're at with this draft. I think that, this is something I was talking about, right as this draft was kind of kicking off, right? It's this fearless draft. It provides a lot of depth in the team comps.
Mm-hmm.
Vancouver probably were on some of their most comfortable picks game one. Now, game two, don't know. I don't know these players well, but they might not be on the same level of comfort that they were game one. And now the comp, you can tell, has more cracks than it did in the first game. So this definitely could be the strat that Neogen just needed to pull. Get them to pop all of their good champions in game one and then whittle them away game two and game three.
For sure. I mean, we know that Neogen's got a decently deep champion pool, a solid 5 champions that each of their players can regularly and handedly play. I imagine a team like Impact, especially with how strong their showing was in game one, they should, likely have a similar situation. But as you said, we're not really sure. We don't know a ton about this Impact team. I actually don't even really know where what their record is in the league at this time.
They're 2-2 right
Okay,
now.
so 2-2, 2-2. So not terrible. They've gone even so far, and they still have a chance to make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, they're like middle of the pack right now. In this, Titan League here, they're 2-2. This is a pretty. I think this game is way more pivotal for them than it is for us technically
Yeah.
in terms of just standings. Neogen sitting 3-1 right now in Titan League. They're only one win in a series away from being into the playoffs guaranteed. And I believe there's still, if I'm not mistaken, there's either still 2 or 3 more weeks left in this regular season
Yeah.
for Titan. So, Neogen is sitting in a pretty good scenario right now. They don't want to let off on the gas, obviously. And the boys definitely are not trying to by any means. But it's still, they're much comfier and they're in a better position. Right now, this game for Vancouver, they are really playing their heart out. They want to get this win so, so badly to inch closer to getting into that playoff spot and a nice seed.
Yeah, for sure. I do think it's 2 more weeks, and I think I think it's 5-2 as the record to clinch a playoff spot. It's either 5-2 or 4-3, but either way, it's probably 1 or 2 more games away for Neogen. But I would guess that Impact is going to need to pretty much win out the rest of the regular season in order to clinch a spot. So as you said, they're for sure looking to, no pun intended, make an impact in this series. And, I mean, they certainly showed up strong in Game 1.
Yeah, they definitely did. I mean, they played game 1 great. Again, to recap, it was just a gigantic tank diff in game 1. The Cho'Gath Sejuani combo was just too much meat to cut. And we didn't sharpen our butcher knives, Muffins. We were not able to cut through that front line, man. And it showed. They just were able to eventually walk over Neogen. I think, though, we have a much better chance in this game, too. We've seen the draft. We know what the guys are capable of. Neogen doesn't back down from a fight easily, and we will be getting into game here really, really soon.
Yeah, we've got about 10 seconds left here. I'm going to go and pop it over to in-game. You're probably just seeing a black screen right now, but we should be in-game here just in a second. In the meantime, if you guys are watching on YouTube and you haven't come to check out the Twitch stream, we stream every game Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. If you are able to come and make it, we would love to have you guys come and watch us live on stream, support us live. We're not streaming this week because Titan is streaming, so we're just doing a quick VOD for everybody. But definitely come check us out on Twitch, and you can find the VODs from every week here on YouTube as well. And you can also find some clips on TikTok, and we also have a Discord that you should come check out.
Yeah, I've said some pretty sus things on these TikTok clips that Remy keeps posting, so just make sure you keep those, keep them handy. You never know when I'm going to say something out of pocket and it shows up on these TikToks. I tell you what, Muffins. Yeah, but we are seeing a little bit of level 1 shenanigans.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Caitlyn hiding in the bush. She's playing it quiet, though. Neogen trying to find an angle here to maybe get a little bit of a cheeky early kill, but this ward is going to end up spotting them out. They see the invade coming, and they're just going to back off. Nothing more from that.
Yeah, I think they just see nobody in the bush. They just assume nobody's there. Yeah, it's a... They also get the vision on the red side of Neogen, too.
Yeah, it's a deep ward, too. It's kind of covering...
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Vuso with a nice flash, though, might find himself... Well, he ends up living. I will say, Vuso does have to probably blow both sums just to be able to get back to lane on time, but luckily doesn't lose his life here on the backside of that play. Could have been a really costly catch.
Yeah, and look, they know Prophet is starting as red. So Zuba's actually going to just take his blue. I wonder if... Hopefully Prophet suspects this, knowing that they just found that that early pressure onto Vuso, and he just rotates down to his blue side.
Yeah, and I think this is a good play again from Vancouver here. This is a nice start to the game, a nice tempo to have on this level 1. Tac does get to avoid that pilt over Peacemaker, but a lot of damage coming out from Worm Jones here in the early part of this lane.
Yeah, I mean, that's Caitlyn's special, right? Always going to be showing up ready to just poke you out of lane with the long-range auto attacks.
As expected.
The Maokai support should hopefully help to mitigate some of this poke if the Maokai is the one taking the auto attacks. Use that passive to heal back up.
Yeah, look
the
at
Bard
that
damage.
poke.
They're going so aggressive in this bot lane with the Bard. Ignite and Electrocute.
Level 3 gank from Prophet here in the mid lane, though. Buso trying to find the slow onto the Lux. Lux does find the bind, and it does end up stopping the engage there from Prophet. Unable to find really anything there towards the mid lane.
Yeah, nothing really happening there. Prophet early, just not really able to find anything. He had to kind of sneak in on the side and find the Lux kind of snoozing to make that one work.
Yeah, unfortunately, Prophet's now going to find out that he has lost his entire blue side to
Yeah.
Poppy. And Poppy kind of gets away with a criminal act here by getting all of that level 1. A nice play from Impact.
Whoa, early. Wow, that Bard damage.
Uh-oh. See, that's that dominant lane, though, with the Caitlyn Bard there. I mean, that was a lot of damage that came out, and a nice stacking of CC. Band, unfortunately, falls in the bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, Bard blows both sums for that, so they are going to come back with the summoner advantage. So if Band Director can find a good engage... Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, okay, Zoob is there looking for a gank, but Buso is going to be protected by Prophet. Oh my god, Prophet is just leaving Buso to maybe take a little bit of punishment there. Man, Tangy on the Bard is coming up to roam. A lot of early game pressure.
Scary. Prophet needs to get out of there. He's going to end up having to flash this wall. Yeah. I don't like this early game right now, but you are seeing some damage now come down towards the bot side. Worm Jones finds a little bit of damage on the Packy, but a nice engage from Band Director. Worm Jones one-shot, Packy flash forward, and he puts a bullet right in the side of Worm Jones' head. That's a nice pickup for Neogen.
Yeah, great call there. They spotted the Bard going up the river to roam, pick up some of his chimes. They looked for a gank in mid, and then he backed a little bit later, so he knew the Caitlyn was alone, and just walks back to the lane, immediately goes in with the flash ignite, and they get that pickup kill. Poor Packy. Packy also even able to save his barrier, so he's gonna be a summoner up still in these fights.
Yeah, that's actually huge. Again, this bot lane from Neogen, while they had a small fumble there and Band gets killed early on in the lane, they're able to turn it around and the gold goes on to the right person. Packy finds some love in there from Band, with that nice engage onto the Caitlyn. And not a bad spot for Neogen now.
God, Cuddles just absolutely chunking this Gragas out. What's the CS looking like? 41 to 29. That's a pretty sizable CS lead for this early into the game.
Yeah, but this is the Mordekaiser special too. He's such a lane bully. It makes it so difficult. And Gragas also, the first 4 or 5 levels for Gragas, not fun. Not fun. The cooldowns are too high. The mana cost is too high. You really need to be able to back and get your first couple little component items before you can start being that annoying body slam phase rush Gragas. So it's going to get better, though, for this Gragas as the lane goes.
Yeah, he does TP back. He's got his tier finished. It looks like he's going maybe Rod of Ages first item. The Ruby Crystal, Sapphire Crystal.
Yeah, I mean, it's either that or Rocket Belt, I feel like right now. If you're going to be going for like a AP Bruiser Gragas build. I think Rod's not a bad idea. There's a lot of sustain with Rod. It helps keep scaling.
Look at this. Oh, yep. Zoob just lying in wait. Prophet also here, though, for a lane gank. They find the engage onto the Bard, and they're just going to pop this Bard. Oh my god, the damage. Zoob, though, tackles Prophet back into the wall, and they're just going to kind of call it a stalemate.
They're doing a lot of damage, though. Paxax is finding some good damage on the back end here with
these the mids are roaming down. Buso and this MLAC. Is that Calm? That's Calm backwards. Calm backwards is what his name is.
It's Malak.
Malak.
It's Malak.
Okay, Prophet does leave, but Zoob is sticking around. They're looking for maybe a little something else here on the back end. He stops his back again. He's delaying his back a lot. That's a lot of wasted time for Zoob down here. I think he's just trying to see if Band Director is going to go in.
Oh no, Band. I'm so scared.
Oh,
nice flash forward, and that is a nice stun right into the wall. But Band with a really beautiful W, he's able to stop a lot of that engagement. Tangy on the Bard trying to get
No.
away. He might just walk it out, but Pactex wants to keep them engaged. Prophet is almost down here, and that is 3 incredibly low members on the side of Vancouver.
No.
Prophet looking for the big
Oh!
He finds a kill onto Zoob. That's beautiful. Pactex just can't get in range to kill Worm Jones, but there's
It's
Vuso
great.
with
It's
a
great damage
giant
from
weirding.
Vuso.
Gets over the side of the wall, and he kills 2 members on the side of
Let's
Vancouver.
go.
Gigantic pickup for Neogen.
Let's go, Vuso. Great heads-up play there. Cuttlebun playing literally with his own life onto this Gragas. The flash body slam is just going to be enough, and Cuddle's going to be pretty upset about that one. I don't know if he didn't mean to flash right there. Let's take it back for a second. I'm kind of curious what happened here. I don't know if he didn't mean to flash right here or what, but he gets low, and then he thinks he's going in for the body slam.
I could see it. I mean, that was an E flash combo on Gragas is almost impossible to dodge. So Cuddle was really trying to predict it there, but a nice patience on the side of Shoros.
Yeah.
He was able to wait it out, and Cuddle ends up falling. That's a really unfortunate position to be in.
In the meantime, Prophet just takes that advantage from Zoob staying a little too long in the bot lane, and after Vusa picks up his double kill, they actually pick up another kill on the Lux. Let's take a look at that. I didn't see this kill on the Lux. Oh, Band Director comes in from the side, picks up Lux while they also grab the Dragon for Prophet.
Yeah, that's a nice pickup. Ooh, Prophet with a nice E there to stop that Peacemaker from putting him down. I really like that from Neogen there. A nice pickup on towards the mid to bot side of the map. You know, if Cuddle just stays even with this Gragas and lets the rest of his team continue doing what they're doing, they're going to be in just a fine position as this mid game.
Yeah, I mean, look, Vuso is on his favorite champ. He's 3-0 now on this Aurora. He's so accelerated. He's even got the Dark Seal. He said, you know what? I don't think I'm even going to die once. I'm going for the Dark Seal, and it's going to be hell for you. Prophet engage with the ultimate. Worm Jones flashing to try to stay alive, but it's just going to be too much damage. And Packy, unfortunately, having to drop the ultimate to pick that one up, but he's pretty happy to just take that kill regardless. On the other side of the map, we do see Zoob is finishing off these grubs. Going to be a 50-50 pickup there. They see Prophet going to the bot side of the map, and Zoob's just going to take the grubs as a little bit of a consolation prize.
Yeah, not a bad pickup all the way around. Paxax's going to find a little bit of gold coming from those plates as well in the bot lane there. Packy, again, having another good game. 83 to 59 CS in the bot lane. 2 kills up is Caitlyn. Worm Jones is looking like a worm. He's just not doing so good out there. Life is tough as a worm, is all I'm saying. This is a nice showing, again, from the Neogen bot lane and jungle. They're making a lot more happen. Prophet's been way more impactful to this game, being able to find the ganks and find the damage needed. I think Neogen is poised to be in a much better position this game.
You know, Poppy, I was just looking at the scoreboard while you were talking about this, and the Bard actually has taken 2 of the kills in the bot lane, leaving Worm Jones with 2 assists. I think that might be a little bit of a troll. They've taken this gold away from Worm Jones, and Packy's got to be really close to finishing this Bloodthirster by now.
Yeah, you know, shout out Deep Tracks Only, our resident Bard player. He's probably not even going to watch this, but this is a Deep Tracks move right here, baby.
Deep Tracks, our boy Christian, he loves playing a little carry Bard in the bot lane.
He probably won't see it, but we're shouting you out anyways. It's in there. It's an Easter egg. If you find it in here, we love you.
I love that. I absolutely love that. I mean, Bard, you know, not a carry, but Bard can lay down some damage.
He can, and he's insanely annoying. I mean, talk about one of the most infuriating champions to go against. Sometimes a good Bard can really just make or break. But now you're seeing an engage take place. Band flashes forward. Absolutely decimates Worm Jones. Nice ult from Bard to try to get away here. But Band and Packy are not done. Maybe they are done. And ultimate comes down from Packy there. Finds a little extra damage onto this Bard, who is now pretty close to being killed, but the rest of the team is trying to come cover them here. Vancouver does not want to let Neogen's bot lane get anything else here on this play.
No, I think they're just going to kind of come down and cover this wave so they can't crash it in too quickly and just take their reset. But I believe Dragon should be spawning here again soon. Prophet already setting up with a control ward. He's just chilling in this river brush. They are looking for a pick.
Yeah, this is Neogen again, just really abusing this bot side of the map. Now, I will say, Band had to use a lot there ahead of this upcoming Dragon. Flash, Ignite, and Ultimate
Oh,
all
look at
get
this.
burnt.
Look at this. Worm Jones,
Another-
no summoners. He only has his barrier.
Worm.
They are picking on Worm Jones. Worm Jones, he's about as useful as a poopy flavored lollipop at this point. He is just useless. I think.
Oh man.
Poppy, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're 5 kills or 5 deaths in. I think we've got our first Ivory Medal of Failure on its way.
Yeah, it's coming in quick, I will say. Worm Jones might actually speed record for the fastest Ivory Medal of Failure in a game. This could be a monumentous occasion. We're going to have to monitor these deaths. Only 2 more. Only 2 more left, Muffins. This is really, really great.
I feel like we really need like a little alert or like a sound to play when the Iron Medal of Failure awarded to Worm Jones.
It's getting there. It's definitely getting there. I mean, this is definitely a rough game for Worm Jones. He didn't really have a good game 1, and he's having even a worse of a game 2 here. So we're going to definitely have to see how it ends up going for him. Prophet trying to find a stun, though, onto the mid lane. They do find a lot of damage onto this Lux, but that's a nice ultimate coming from the Bard. Trying to block some damage down. Nice flash away from that final spark to not take the damage. Prophet still trying to run away, but he's just getting just
Look at the Vuso damage. Look at Vuso's damage.
A lot of damage.
Oh, he
coming
misses
from
his
Vuso,
Q,
but they-
though.
Oh, no, he just couldn't quite find him. Vuso wants to kill this Poppy.
Okay.
Band hits him on the last route from downtown, and Packy will pick up the kill credit.
Oh, okay. I don't know if that's where the Gragas wanted to send him, but it's where he went. This is the annoying Gragas that we were talking about, though. Just when you think he's out of abilities, he isn't.
Yeah, and this is what I was saying, you know, as the lane goes longer for this Gragas and he starts getting items, it gets easier and easier. And also finding that early kill, giving him a lead over Cuddle is just even better for him. You know, Choros, 2 games in a row now, played really, really well. His Cho'Gath was impeccable. I can't give him enough credit, even if he is, you know, on Vancouver, the side we don't want to win. You got to give credit where credit's due. Choros is playing out his mind this year.
Hey, we're just here for good games of the league. I don't care which side it comes from. Like you said, of course we want our boys to win, but, you know, I'm here for just great League of Legends.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. You know, quality competitive league. That's what we all want to see. That's what Neogen is about. And it's just nice having a team that we can back it for. But as I'm saying that, you know, Neogen picks up that second Drake here. Smite coming down. Prophet secures it. Doesn't let that final spark from Lux get it. And Neogen walks away with another really nice objective.
Yeah, I mean, you can see now Choros on this Gragas. He's now up about 15 CS on the Cuddle. Another barrel just immediately comes out. There's not much Cuddle can do other than flash away from this Bard.
Yeah, this is a difficult lane to be playing into. Taurus is really putting the hurt on Cuddle right now. Cuddle falling behind here has really caused things to get pretty dastardly. And
He
now
needs
they
some
might
serious
even
help.
threaten this dive.
Yeah, he needs some serious help. Okay, you know, I like it. I like it. The Bard ult, it's a good idea to try to get this dive, but Cuddle just ults him away so that he doesn't get the help from his Bard. Oh my god, they are making Cuddle's life hell up here. Vuso, though, TP's in, and he's going to be able to catch it just in time to do the damage. Choros just stinking around a little too long, and Worm Jones about as useful as a poopy-flavored lollipop, as we said, and here he goes again, just dying. I can't believe how much of a feeder this guy is. He's doing nothing.
Assemble. That was Captain America in the top lane calling for his boys, and it looks like Vuso and Band answer the call. What a great save from Neogen.
Yeah, they're going to even be able to pick up the Rich Arrow at the top of this. Poppy, I'm going to take this back. I want to watch this play out again. I didn't actually even see Vuso TPing in here, but let me just zoom this out. I want to see how this plays out. I mean, it is perfect timing. Look, they've got 4 members on Impacts coming up. Caitlyn is coming up for this ultimate. Cuddle having to ult away Choros just so that he can survive long enough. Caitlyn walks up and drops this ultimate on the Cuddle, but then Vuso just TP's in. The flash body slam, just not enough damage, and Vuso blows up the Gragas before anything else can happen, and Worm Jones is just caught out in no man's land.
Yeah, really nice play there, and Cuddle bought a lot of.
Wow, I didn't even see this. Prophet even ulted up there too, so you really, when you said Avengers Assemble, you really meant it. They pick up the extra kills there too. It's a really great pickup all around. Then they pick up the Rift Herald, and they're just going to drop it mid, pick up this mid tower as well.
Yeah, and it does look like the side of Neogen happy with a lot of those plays there. They are now up about 3K total here in this game. They've got most of the objective control as well, and they're really coming to life in this game too.
I mean, you know, it's not that I don't think Vuso's good on the Talia. It's just that Talia is such a hard champion to pilot when you don't have damage. Like, in that last game, the Sivir was their only damage source, and Talia just unfortunately doesn't offer quite enough. But look at him on this Aurora. Just a quick WQ onto the Lux with the Electrocute, and it's half of her health bar. The damage coming out from Vuso is incredible. And then when you have Paki at 6-0 already as well, nearly finishing his IE, these ultimates are going to blow up the side of Impact.
Yeah, I agree, and I mean it's nice to see. You know, I think Talia is still one of his comfortable champions, but to me, again, I think Talia is a nullifier, right? You know, the Orianna got picked.
Oh my god!
Oh my
god!
It's going to pop this Lux.
I mean, we're one death away, and look at this. Cuddle taking away the Choros. Doesn't even know. He's getting walked in on by 3 of them.
Yep, it does look like this Gragas is going to end up falling. Paxax does find the kill, but they want more. Band fires the ultimate down the lane to try to dissuade any further action, and it does look like the rest of the side of Vancouver is going to be running here.
Yeah, there's a lot of pings going on across the map from the side of Impact. I think they made a bit of a macro blunder there. They tried to go up to save this Gragas, but he was already dead. They knew 3 members of Neogen were already there, and they just kind of let them take the mid and bot tower, the mid and bot lane prio away. A bit of a blunder there from Impact. They're looking a little shaky.
Yeah, and you see bot lane tower does fall. Vuso picks that one up, and Cuddle is a couple strikes away from taking top down as well. That's a pretty good spot for Neogen, but now they're trying to get these resets off. Dragon and Atacon are both going to be spawning here within 30 seconds.
Fighting over some vision. A lot of pings coming down. They're looking to fight for this vision immediately. I mean, we know that Neogen has got incredible pick potential. The combo of the Maokai root plus the Pantheon stun is just 2 point-and-click easy CC. It's enough time for Paxax to just chop through whoever the target is. Band Director, though, does find a binding light on him. He's gonna be able to survive. Cuddle just kind of walking in to try to zone him off. We're gonna have a 5v5 here, I think.
Yeah, we gotta watch out though. You know, the Lux damage, if she does get a good bind, they can put a lot of hurt onto somebody. Ban, you know, he took half of his health there from that one small combo, and the entirety of Impact wasn't even ready to go. But now you're seeing they're kind of getting pushed out here. Neogen catching a little bit of this
no.
and Ban gets ulted in. A nice engage from the, but that was really well played by Ban. He did buffer that damage, finds a good root, but that's a huge ult coming down from the Lux to end up taking Paxax down. Cuddle Blend in the death realm right now with this Gragas, but Vuso, Prophet, and Cuddle are still alive, and they've got the damage. Cuddle with a nice E grabs them all back in. Choros ends up falling onto that one, but look at this. Prophet is not done. The Grand Skyfall, but he gets caught on the back end. Nice flash forward with the W. Worm Jones goes down. Bow, 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 bow. There's the Ivern Medal of Failure right there, baby. Worm Jones, you're getting exactly what you deserve.
Zoob, what are you doing? Zoob, what are you doing?
Zoob is playing games, but Zoob doesn't realize that he is on a ward right now. He is just one kill, one shot away.
No.
Vuso playing with his food, misses the Q. Zoob walking this one out potentially. Ban does find the root, and a nice E off of Vuso finds the kill credit, and it's going to surely be Dragon as well going over to the side of Neogen.
You know, Poppy, I gotta be honest. I actually think that Neogen didn't. They piloted that fight decently, but honestly, if Vuso wasn't as fed as he was, I think they'd lose that fight. They lost Paki pretty early on. His ultimate got canceled by the Lux Q, and then he was not able to survive the Caitlyn ultimate because he couldn't get behind Cuddlebun in enough time. So Paki basically completely eradicated from that fight early on, in addition to Band Director not even able to get anything down other than one quick W. So it was really a 3v5, and they still come out on top. I think that's just a testament to how far ahead they are. But otherwise, a little bit of a scuffed fight for Neogen. They're going to need to be able to play those out a little bit cleaner if they don't want to give over any more gold to the side of Impact.
Yeah, I think this is where they let Impact, they're giving them too much credit, right? I think Neogen needs to just pull the trigger. Buso trying to find a bit of a fight there. Does look like Gragas wants some more, and the damage is kind of crazy on this Gragas right now.
Okay, good
That
dodge on the
incredibly
barrel.
annoying. Yeah, that was a nice sidestep to stop the Q there, and Gragas is going to end up giving up after that one. But what I was saying is I think Neogen needs to be the ones making these engages, Muffins. They have the power, they have the lead, they have the ability to engage, and they just need to pull the trigger.
Yeah, they've got to start pulling the trigger earlier. I think you're right. I think they're kind of giving them a little too much. I mean, yeah, credit is the right word. I'm saying like they're not playing confident enough. They're not playing confident enough in their lead. The Vuso and Packy damage, if they find a target that is even slightly out of position, there's no shot that they live their 2 ultimates.
I mean, let's be honest right now. Worm Jones is shooting Tic Tacs out of that zone. Like he doesn't do anything yet, right?
Tic Tacs.
There's 15 more minutes needs to come down before Worm Jones is really going to be a threat. So right now, at this moment, you've really just got to put the gas, like just put the pedal to the metal, man. Keep that gas going, make the plays, be aggressive. Be aggressive, and that's what
Buso's
Gragas is saying in the top side.
Yeah.
Busos ends up getting caught here. It looks like that's a nice flash forward. He might actually find his way out. A nice little weirding. Is it going to be enough to kill the Gragas?
He's actually going to find the Gragas.
That's about as good of a play as you could ask for from Buso. A little sidestep action. They find the Gragas with the tower shots.
Yeah, I like the use of the invisibility to kite back and then the flash to separate himself. Not a bad way to play that out. I mean, like you said, it was a bit of a lost cause. He was probably going to die anyway. So picking up a 1-for-1 is really an okay outcome there, other than giving away the shutdown gold. And they're going to find Poppy too.
Yeah, they don't want this Poppy to get away. Zoob ends up falling. Ban gets the kill credit there on the long engage from way down. I mean, you saw Ban. He put on his Nikes and he was just hauling ass up there.
Yeah, look, he's got that, what has he got? He's got the Dead Man's Plate plus the Zoomin' Boots. What are these called? The Forever Forward. Yeah,
and the sled.
And the sled, I mean.
Solstice sleigh. This boy's moving.
Yeah, that's a lot of mobility.
Yeah, that's a really
that's a fast tree. Yeah, it's a fast tree.
I've never seen foliage move that quick. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I've never seen foliage move that fast.
You know, I mean that's pretty crazy. That's an aggressive bit of foliage. Would you call him like a weed? You know, is he the kind of thing that shows up in your garden that you just gotta pluck out?
Yeah,
they grow so fast.
That's right. And he's evil like a weed.
Yeah, he is. He's an evil tree. Band director, you know, Mr. Clean himself playing the evil Malachi.
Look, he's cosplaying in the forest as a tree. He's just standing in this bush waiting for somebody to come along that he can root.
Yeah, you know, a side note, if he stands in brush, you can't see him.
Okay. Got a TP out from Gragas. He's just leaving the mid lane, and Lux is TPing mid. They're just leaving Cuddle for free in this top lane. I think Neogen is happy to just walk away from this one.
Yeah, Neogen's not even pressured right now to have to do anything. Dragon's not even spawned yet. Now they can just push these waves in. That was a really preemptive play there from Vancouver to try to like find this control. And they're playing so hard for it, but it looks like Neogen's just going to start playing towards the top side of the map. I think starting up the Baron.
Oh my god.
That's a lot of damage there onto that Lux, and that's going to put her out of this fight. And
they're just going to go do Baron
now. Yeah, Baron's just being taken by Neogen. They have complete control of it. Booster's just playing bodyguard in the middle here, and it's going to be a worthwhile trade. They give Dragon for Baron here.
I don't think they know.
I don't think they have no vision. There's no way they know. This is going to be a Red Bull Baron, not sponsored by Red Bull Baron power play coming out from Neogen. Really nice trade on objective.
I wish Red Bull would sponsor us. I could go for a Red Bull right now.
Yeah, I mean, we'll even take Rockstar at this point. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, we need never mind.
Let's not go that far.
Yeah, Rockstar. I mean, do they even make energy drinks anymore?
I think they do. I think they do. I think Rockstar's still making drinks, but I mean, it tastes like cough syrup. Let's be real.
They're like exclusively in Dollar General, though, right?
Exclusively in Dollar General, yeah. You know, to go back to this play, crazy preemptive double TP for this soul point. I mean, I get it, right? You don't want to give away the soul to Neogen, but you also don't want to overcommit and give away your tier 2 top lane, mid prio, and the Baron. I just don't still think that that's very worth.
Yeah, and it looks like now Cuddle is going to find an engage. He just popped right over on that cone onto the Lux, who's just getting completely chopped up. Cuddle Bun just massacred that poor Lux, but again, another nice interrupt onto the side of
It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Double kill already for Paxax, even though he doesn't even get his ultimate down. Now they're just going to take the second tier tower. I do got to give the Bard a little bit of credit. He's done good at stopping these ultimates from Packy, but it's just still not enough.
Yeah, I mean, even if he gets a couple of waves down from that bullet time, it still is enough damage that it can turn the fight. And when Vuso's there to layer down the damage as well, it doesn't even really matter if you stop Packy's, especially if you make him go invulnerable with the Bard ult, then he's just safe from any possible harm.
Yeah, and you're seeing now on the back of that Red Bull Baron, not sponsored by Red Bull Baron power play, Neogen finds a great fight and takes 2 inhibitors down. Mid and bot are gone. Now they're just going to go force this top side out and try to close this game.
Let's take a little bit of a stock where we're at here. Vuso, 3 items completed. Packy, 3 items completed. Cuddle, 2.5 items. Sorry, no, 3.5 items completed. Prophet, 2 items completed. On the side of Impact, they've got 3 items completed on this Caitlyn, but it's only an RFC is the 3rd item completion, which isn't really offering much other than these long-range auto attacks. Only 2 items down on this Lux, which is a Blackfire Torch is one of them. I think Neogen's in a pretty good spot right here.
Yeah, Neogen's really happy with the state of this game right now, and you know, with how far they put Worm Jones behind, the rapid fire cannon is so negligible at this point. You know, he needs to honestly have his LDR before he can really even start doing any kind of damage. You see the Bomba comes out from Gragas there. I'm not exactly sure what that one was meant for. Maybe just a deterrent.
They've got this.
I don't really know.
They're just gonna walk it in. I mean, there's no. What can they do? What are you doing to a Maokai ult? That is a phenomenal Bard ult. Holy shit.
Another good one, man. This Bard has been playing out of his mind, honestly. He has completely nullified the damage in the bullet time.
It just, like, doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. They're so far behind.
It just doesn't matter. Like, that would be an incredible play if they weren't 10k gold behind. But Packy just does so much damage regardless. Oh, no! Oh!
Oh, big sniper bullet got him. It's so unfortunate. Uh-oh.
Oh, Packy
can't be
stepping
the
up a little
throw
close. No. Get Packy out of there, boys.
Uh-oh. Cuddle finds some nice damage.
Oh my God, that shield.
Is he going to be gifted a kill onto Lux?
He's going to be gifted.
Crazy right now.
Going to just kill the rest of the team.
Cuddle is raid bossing right now.
Get
Cuddle!
Penta kill! Come on! Cuddle, get the Penta! Don't go for the game! Get the Penta!
Crazy.
Let's go!
Crazy. Wait, is it going to be the pentakill
Let's
for
go!
Cuddle? Pentakill, Cuddle, bud! What a crazy fight. Cuddle goes immortal at the very end, and Neogen puts down this Toronto or wherever you're at, Vancouver team. Let's go, Neo!
Oh my God. I mean, Cuddle just went absolutely hammer-bammer. A full Bombaclat type ending there. Just an absolute incredible ending there on that game. Just complete opposite of the first game, right? Cho'Gath, Sejuani, so far ahead, couldn't do anything against them. This game, it didn't matter what you did to stop. If you stop Packy, Vuso kills you. If you stop Vuso, Packy kills you. If you stop both of them, Cuddle comes in and kills you. They just didn't have an answer.
Yeah, and I mean that I'm just mind blown on the damage and the sustain that Cuddle Bun had in that last fight. I guess that's what happens when you don't answer the Mordekaiser for so long and let him side lane by himself.
Yeah.
Give up all those teleports, give up all that pressure around the map. And he sucked up all that gold and he became a raid bomb.
Yeah, he just collected so much gold. And at the end, I mean, with the Spirit Visage, he just couldn't die. That plus the Riftmaker plus Conqueror, he was just healing so much. And then that shield he got mid-fight was like, I don't know, 800 HP or something. It was absurd. Wow, Poppy. I mean, 2 incredible showings from 2 really good teams. I I think you might have been right. I don't know if it was just a bit of a mistake on the side of Impact there, picking the Caitlyn and then leaving her to her own demise in the bot lane to just completely feed her ass off, or if it was just a really big diff on. I mean, Vuso got so incredibly accelerated on the Aurora early on with that quick double kill and on the tower dive into the bot lane. That really seemed to accelerate Vuso, and he's so confident on Aurora to know those damage breakpoints and was able to find the picks that they needed. Band director, incredible showing on the Maokai, finding a ton of good roots and good ultimates, piloting that super well. I'm just excited for game 3. We've had 2 incredible showings here. Poppy, I'm going to take another quick short break. We're going to send it over to the BRB screen, and we'll be back in just a couple to pick up with this third draft and hopefully an incredible, phenomenal, exciting ending to this series. Go.
All right, and we are back after that short intermission here What an incredible game, too, coming out from Neogen for any of y'all
So
who might
good.
just be tuning in. I mean, incredible, man. Incredible play. Just absolutely stomped the side of this Vancouver Impact team. Couldn't ask for it to be much better. And if you look here, it looks like we're getting into this game 3 draft. Let's go, Muffins.
Yeah, seems like it's the same bands as before.
Yeah, yep. It looks like Neogen opting for the same 3 bands. Rise, the Kindred, and the Lucian getting taken out here. Impact probably going to stick to their same as well, the Amumu Ziggs, and I imagine this is going to be an Urgot coming out most likely.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, again, the Urgot does not get to come through. Neogen on blue side this time. They're going to get this first priority pick. I wonder what they're going to go ahead and just take right off the board to start off.
Who are they going to give it to? They're going to go for the J4 for Profit.
Prio pick. We've seen Profit on the Jarfin before. He's able to do a lot on this pick. And it ends up being a Lee Sin potentially on the side of Impact being answered.
Really interesting.
Yeah, this is a high skill champion. Lee Sin, definitely not one you see too much anymore. He's not as favorable in the current meta, but a very high skill ceiling champion. A lot of playmaking potential. I'm interested to see if they end up picking this up here.
They are.
They do. They're going to commit with the Lee Sin. This is pretty ballsy on the side of Imp, in my opinion. I think Lee Sin's one of those characters that if he is good and he can just pop off and roll a game and completely carry, or if he doesn't get ahead and he doesn't find a lot of those early skirmishes and ganks, he's useless.
If they lock in this Ezreal too, this is a really mobile, very safe comp. They have a lot of agency to pick when when they want to go in. I'm curious to see what else they round out this team with for Impact. Picking Lee Sin and Ezreal first it's a pretty interesting pickup.
Yeah, I can see early rotations for Ezreal. He's a safe AD carry. The Lee Sin definitely is the answer to J4. An interesting pickup. Lee Sin's going to want to battle this J4 early. Try to find him in the jungle. J4 notoriously doesn't clear as healthy as some other junglers in the first, couple levels there. So Lee Sin's going to want to try to find an early invade to punish Profit. We'll see if he's going to be able to pull that off. As we see, Tristana does get picked up for Paxax here on the side of Neogen. Really aggressive, hyper aggro AD carry. If Paxax gets big on this, you know what? Neogen's saying, we can match mobility. They go and pick the Ari as well up for Vuso.
I think if anything, this is going to be a very skill-based, flashy game.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it. Hypermobile. Braum being picked up from the side of Imp here as well. Rounds it out with a support pick. Interesting pickup as well. Braum does really good into nullifying a lot of range damage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Neogen, while they have like Ari Charms and Tristana, I don't know. Braum loses a little value here, in my opinion.
I suppose
I
I don't
also see. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say I also don't really see the synergy with the Braum for Ezreal.
Yep, I was about to say the same thing. It's a weird pick. You see normally something that is going to help proc Braum's force strike passive where it gets the stun off. Ezreal doesn't tend to be the pairing with that. Also, Braum tends to want to be able to be that bodyguard for somebody maybe a little more aggressive as well. So interesting move here. Maybe it's just a comfort pick.
Yeah, I mean, I can see the Braum with Lucian for sure. Frankly, probably the best. I mean, that and Nami, two best supports for Lucian. Easy bullying ability for Lucian. But Ezreal's kind of the opposite of Lucian, right? You're not really auto-attacking that often on Ezreal, especially once you get to like mid and late game. And even early on in the lane, like Ezreal wants to poke with his Q, and he's not going to find the opportunities to really land a lot of auto attacks on the target that Braum is on necessarily. I don't know. We'll have to see how it plays out. They also pick up a Zoe. So they're going for just like a super long range, bit of a pokey pick kind of comp. Maybe the Braum is just there to help protect or disengage.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pick comp through and through here. A Lee Sin Zoe combo. It's all about finding the pick. And a Rakan to be picked up for support on Neogen. I like this. Again, a very mobile support
Mm-hmm.
who can play both roles of disengage
Mm-hmm.
and engage here. I like this pickup
Yeah.
for Ban.
Yeah, there's a lot of tools on the side of Neogen here. The Ari charm, the Rakan knockup, the J4 flag and drag, the Tristana rocket jump to go in. If they want to all go in, they can all go in. If they all need to get out, they can all go out.
And Yorick is now also going to get picked up for Cuttlebun in the top lane. We've seen Cuttle on this monstrosity of a champion before, and even when it wasn't piloted, in my opinion, perfectly, Yorick is
Yeah.
still so
So
scary,
good.
man.
What are they going to round out this comp with on Impact? What could you see them picking up here?
I don't even know what nullifies a Yorick these days. It's so difficult, honestly, to play against this character. He just doesn't seem to have many bad matchups whatsoever. Shen, definitely a good, strong character right now. Here's the thing. I'm not quite sure exactly what I'm seeing from the side of Impact, right? You have some heavy protection characters with Braum and Shen coming through.
Uh-huh.
But then you also have this long range artillery from Ezreal Zoe and a little bit of pick potential from Lee Sin and Zoe. I just don't know if the synergy feels off for Impact on what the characters want to do.
Yeah, because who's the target for Shin? A Braum? But like, then what?
Yeah, I mean
I
Lee
just
Sin
don't
probably.
see like
It's gonna probably be Lee Sin, right? You're gonna just Shen ult on top of Lee when he goes in,
yeah,
or you Shen ult whoever gets dove on.
yeah.
It's, I don't know.
But that's the beauty of playing a champion like Ezreal and Lee Sin and even Zoe is they have the tools to escape themselves. You don't need to Shin ult. You Shin ult somebody
Yeah,
who can't survive or who wants to use their mobility to go in. And in this instance, like I just don't see it. Whereas I think Neogen, the synergy between the Rakan, Ari, Tristana, J4, right? You throw a J4 ult, you find the charm, you find the Rakan knockup, you find the Rakan ultimate, throw in the Ari Q on top of all of that, the Tristana auto attacking. I mean, it's just an incredible synergy. And then if they all need to get out, Ari has an extra dash. Tristana gets a rocket jump reset. J4, another flag and drag. Rakan, shield, E jumps to one of those targets. They just have so many tools and it all synergizes so well together. I just don't really see where this team comp is coming from Impact. Maybe it's just a factor of, third game in a fearless draft and they're picking some comfort.
yeah. This is what we talked about a lot in these games. Fearless draft. It makes you dig really deep into your champion pools, and sometimes you're coming out with some semi wacky comps. And I think we saw it honestly even start with game two for Impact. They just didn't seem nearly as comfortable on the picks. Their team comp was a little bit wonky and all over the place. Whereas game one, they had such a strong idea of what they wanted to do.
Yep.
But Neogen has the depth. And I think that's something we fail to mention maybe sometimes
Yeah.
is the boys really have, like you said earlier, 4 or 5 champions in their arsenals that they play at a high level.
Yep. 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 And that is the difference maker in these fearless drafts. Is the difference maker because Neogen, I'm looking at this comp for Neogen, and I know that each one of these players is going to pilot this champion well. I've seen Band Director do crazy things on Rakan. I've seen Prophet carry games on J4. I've seen Vuso go crazy on an Ari. Like, I know that they will pilot this comp well. And after watching Impact on that last somewhat lacking synergy comp, I'm not sure it's going to be the same result. Or I'm not sure it's not going to be the same result again, which is Neogen walking away with a pretty handed victory.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to see what ends up happening here. Looks like we're still waiting for them to get through champ select, so just bear with us a couple of moments here on this. But let's take some stock again on just what Neogen's win con for this game is going to be.
Okay. Yeah.
Looking across the board here for Neo, what do you think is the win con for them? What's the big pieces they need to find a solid win on game 3?
J4 needs some help early on. He can't be left to fight the Lee Sin early. Lee Sin is just such a strong early game champion. He will find the picks onto onto Prophet on the J4 if he's left alone. Ari is an incredibly good roaming mid laner, so Vuso is going to need to be able to show up to these early game fights and help to pressure things away from Impact so that Prophet can stay ahead. In the meantime, Vuso could also likely pick up some kills there. I think we obviously know Cuddle. He's just going to be on an island this game. Yorick is notoriously a split push champ. His objective is to keep the Shin as busy as possible and create as much pressure when Shin has to leave for his ultimate as possible. I think the win con is one of those two things. It's either going to be Yorick gets so far ahead that they have to answer it, or Vuso is going to make such a good impact early on in the game to help keep Prophet and himself ahead so that they can show up and get their Tristana, Paki on this Tristana fed for the late game. I think those are the two options for them. And I don't know, but the way Paki's been playing today, I imagine Vuso and Paki are going to be the ones coming out ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Paki's had an incredible series already. Both games, even the first game where they lost, his Sivir looked really, really strong. He just couldn't keep up with the Giga-fed Cho'Gath.
No.
But other than that, I mean, his own personal performance was really, really good. Paxax, again, just showing why he's a star 80 carry and a star player on this team. He continues to show out game after game, regardless if they are behind or ahead. Paxax is a solid focal point of the team. He is just, you can always rely on Paki.
I mean, we just saw him play out of some pretty hard early game against that Bard, right? They get that early pick on the Bard, but they find a quick opportunity between him and Band Director to find the flash engage onto the Caitlyn when that Bard leaves. That kind of playmaking is the difference between these guys playing at Diamond Master level and the scrubs watching this stream later on, or the YouTube video later on, or even myself. I can analyze it and tell you it, but I can't do it in real time in game.
We are the scrubs, Muffins. You're preaching to the choir here, my friend. We are the scrubs, unfortunately. And that's why we're given the ordained right to comment on these games and to pick apart our Diamond and Master friends here. They said, hey, guys, your intellect is off the charts. We want you guys to cast these games, but we know you don't got the hands to back it up, so it's not really going to matter at the end of the day. And we said, you know what? Challenge accepted. Let's talk some stuff. Let's give them a little hell. And, talking about hell, that's what Game 3 might be here. We are getting right into this one. It is about to load in, and I'm hoping for a bloodbath of a game.
Yeah, no, it's gotta be a bloodbath. It's gotta be. I mean, I'm just looking for some incredible performance from Vuso and Paki again. I want to see them pop off. I want to see the Ari and the Tristana working together, setting up just a solid, just like textbook game of League of Legends.
Yep, and I'd really like to see Worm Jones take another Iron medal today. One is not enough for the Worm, okay? And with a name like Worm Jones, it's like you kind of just deserve it, honestly.
Well, see, I'm on the other side. Worm Jones has had a rough Game 1 and Game 2. I'd like to see him just at least go even. But we are looking at some level 1 shenanigans. They're going in as a pack of 4, walking at Paxax.
Yeah, just trying to get that vision control down, it looks like. That level 1 with Braum, such a strong champion, level 1. Anybody he tags and gets those 4 proc autos on gets stunned. And that's just such an easy level 1 tool in those fights. So smart on Neogen not to take that and to play it safe. I will give this Braum, Tangy, some credit. The support on the side of Vancouver here has been really, really good all night long. His Bard play was honestly quite strong. I can't say it enough. You got to give credit where credit's due. Tangy has played a really solid game for the side of Impact, and I'm excited to see how he plays this one. Braum, though, is not the highest playmaking character, so we'll have to see what he does to pilot it.
Yeah, it's going to be... He's going to have to put some incredible work in with some great shields in order to make a large impact, because I just don't think it's going to come from his positioning with his passive or even his ultimate. Maybe the ultimate to help disengage a little bit could be useful.
see
You
the
know,
stun
not a
does
bad
come out
trade
for
there.
him there. Yeah, they got some damage down. I think Zoe's a pretty annoying champion against Ari as well, if I'm not mistaken on that matchup here. So it
Good
definitely might be a
God.
little hard. Yeah, God, that Shen damage early is brutal.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, that's some big damage from Zoe early on. Just one bubble and a Q, and Fuso's pretty chunked out. But he's got some pots rolling. He's got his sustain from his passive. He should be looking pretty okay.
Yeah, Zoe definitely annoying, does a lot of damage, but I think Neogen can just survive the lanes. They don't even necessarily have to win the lanes. They just can't give up too much. I think their team is going to outscale. A nice taunt forward from Choros here. He finds some good damage onto Cuddle, but Cuddle's ghouls are just chopping him up. The ghouls.
Yeah, I think as Cuddle gets a couple of items, or not even a couple of items, I think even just a couple of components, he might be looking pretty decent against Shin. You know, I've played this matchup before, Shin into York. It is, I would say, one of my preferred matchups to play into York, to pilot. It's easy enough to dodge a lot of the damage using your Twilight Shroud. And then, you know, the taunt can get you out of York's cage pretty easily to turn the fight. So it's not a bad pickup, but I just don't know if Shin is going to out-sustain the York as he gets a couple items under him.
It looks like things are pretty even across the board right now.
Okay, we're looking at a
Almost
gank in
dead.
mid. Prophet's looking to go in on the Zoe. The Zoe's going to get a good flash. Vuso gets caught by the bubble, but a great charm comes out to stop the engage. Prophet's just going to body block the Sonic, what is that ability called? Sonic
Wave?
Strike? Sonic Wave Strike or
Blast?
something? I forget.
Sonic Ball.
Sonic Ball of Doom.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, nice able to walk Vuso out there. Nothing really ends up materializing in the mid lane.
And actually, Vuso didn't
Definitely
even
don't
burn
want
a
to give
flash.
them any kills. That's really good. That's really good. That's exactly what you want to see. Neogen's going to be really happy not losing any sums there. It does look like Zoe did burn flash on that play.
Yeah,
Net
she
positive.
flashed the flag and drag from Prophet, which I think saved her life, but a good charm from Vuso stopped any follow-up engage from Zoe.
You just keep seeing this fight taking place top of Cuddle, now getting the better of Choros,
my
finding a
God.
lot of damage onto him. Choros is... and it wouldn't be a game of League without a pause, am I right, Muffins? We hadn't seen one this series yet, but fret not, here it is.
Yeah, it looks like Band Director DC'd. I don't know. It didn't really look like he DC'd, but maybe he just called for it really quick. Okay, he's ready again. All right, there's a brief pause, but everything seems to be fine now.
Yep, we're back in it, and that is good to see. But, you know, again, it's just not a game without a pause here. And now we're just having a little bit of a buffering lag. It's okay. This is normal every time in the VOD reviewer. So we'll let it roll. It should come back to us in just a second here. There's always a quick delay when it comes from a pause for whatever reason. You know, small indie company, League client hasn't quite figured it all out yet. They don't have enough billions to fix that, okay?
They need
is all
trillions.
I'm saying. They need trillions. They need everything.
Okay. Oof. Oh!
Nice charm from
That was a
Vuso there.
great
Finds some
charm.
damage. Black takes a slacking right there from Vuso.
Black. Black takes a slap from Vuso there. But look at Zoob over here on the Lee Sin. He's biding his time patiently. Waits for him to go for that minion and goes in with a nice Q, but he gets charmed and he's gonna have to walk away from this.
Yeah, Vuso not level 6 yet and has no mana. You know, that could have actually been really, really bad for Zoob if he had a little more mana and had hit level 6. That was a pretty aggressive play for the Lee Sin to take a charm to the face right under the tower. That could have actually turned out really, really bad.
Yeah, I think he just kind of assumed that because of the low mana he'd be okay, but yeah, I agree. I mean, maybe not even really worth the time because Vuso was going to back anyway, and now he's coming back. They could have set up for this dragon, Yeah, and you see Prophet is actually already pinging forward. He's going to clear the vision, and Packy and Band Director are ready to go for this. Packy just backed and finished his BF sword. He's full health, and he's going to be able to come over and help secure this early dragon.
Yeah, and on a nice reset here, too. You know, it looks like Braum with a late reset. Zoe with no mana. It's going to be almost impossible for them to answer. But Vuso trying to go aggressive. Nice charm onto Mlack. Is Vuso going to end up finding the kill? He does get the kill onto Mlack, and he's going to try to get out of there. He has an extra charge on that Spirit Rush, but he's playing with fire here against Zoob.
Yeah, I think
Zoob does miss.
Oh, it's a great charm.
Ooh, nice charm again from Vuso. Vuso is feeling it right now, Muffins. I can see the confidence. He's playing with his food.
Yeah, I think he kind of knew that the Lee Sin wasn't going to be able to land that Q. He felt confident enough to sidestep it at that max range, and I think he was kind of trying to bait it a little bit, trying to bait an extra engage, maybe like a ward hop or something to try to find the pick and see if he could bait the Prophet to come and pick up another kill for him. But, you know, he'll just take a charm and walk away and back, and now he's, what, probably, yep, he's got boots in his Lost Chapter finished. He's looking pretty solid.
He's got a small deficit on creep, but other than that, I mean, that kill definitely makes up for it. Vuso's now equalized the lane, and he's sitting in a good spot here.
Look,
and, you know, one thing I want to say, Zoob has not been making an impact yet in this game, and Lee Sin needs to find plays early on. I mean, we're almost 8 minutes in, and I've barely seen Zoob do a thing.
Yep. And Prophet just immediately, he backed and walked straight to the Rift Herald. Or I'm sorry, the Grubs. They've got great vision already set up. They got the Scuttlebug. They've even brought up Band Director here too. He is not quite level 6, but he is going to be there with the exhaust, and I think they're going to look for a fight here.
Yep, this looks like it's going to turn into
Prophet. Great
goes
knockup.
forward on the flag drag, finds a nice Cataclysm, locks in 3 of them here, and they're just trying to fight for their lives to get out. It's so hard to even see what's happening, and it looks like it is going to be Neogen getting the better of the side of Vancouver Impact on that fight. Zoob goes down, and they are not able to contest the Grubs any further. Nice fight for Neo.
Yeah, I think the Lee Sin just is a bit of a troll pick right now. If you can't pilot that champion in the first 4 levels of the game to the extent that you just are constantly ganking and picking up gold, you're not going to make an impact, and he hasn't. He's just done nothing. He's now lost the first dragon and the Grubs, and he's 0-1. He's down 10 CS on Prophet. He's going for a desperation gank on Cuddle, and he's going to get caught by Prophet anyway. This is going about as swimmingly as you could ask.
Very nice stuff from the side of Neogen calling that play, and they followed it perfectly. Band and Prophet there, and now they're going to be looking for the dive. He's going to interrupt the teleport onto Choros. Great stuff from Prophet, but he ends up actually falling to that tower shot. This tower is a bit ramped up, and Cuddlebun trying to find the damage, but they can't get it. Oh no! That tower is so strong right now. Choros actually lives that dive. That's insanity.
Yeah, that was so close. I mean, a little bit more damage down there. Packy with a great flash over the Winter's Bite from Braum there just to stop him from getting the slow and the stun. Vuso looking for a pickup onto Mlack here, but he doesn't really have any more mana. It's just kind of a null fight there.
Yep, nothing really ends up panning out. Both mid laners are just going to lick their wounds and have to go back to the base. But, man, I am impressed with Choros as well, I will say.
Yeah.
The top laner on the side of Impact has had a really strong showing as well. His Gragas play in lane was quite good. He didn't really transition much out of lane with it. And then his first game, obviously, on the Cho'Gath was just incredible. You know, I got to give credit where credit's due. He's definitely playing really solid.
Yeah, but you can't put the team on the back when you're playing champions like Gragas and Shin. They're never going to carry a game.
That's so true, though. You know, you have to play something with more agency and ability to carry things like the Renekton, the Camille's. You know, you need something that is going to actually give you the agency to carry the game. And like you said, if it's something like Shen, even as strong as he can be, you're just not going to see it. And Cuddlebun, man, doing some real damage to him right now with those Qs, and he's just gaining health each time he Qs these minions. The wave is just always forced under the tower. It's kind of difficult, man.
Yeah, and this is exactly what you want on Yorick, too, because the Shin's wave clear is so brutal. Like, it's brutally bad. Like, it's so bad. Even with the Tiamat, he struggles to clear waves. So he's getting shoved under tower all the time. He's losing CS. And Cuddle has so much freedom to walk around and just get vision. He has the freedom to walk around and show up to jungle fights, to look for, you know, an invade with Prophet.
Yeah, they're in a good spot here, and this dragon is going to be coming up pretty soon. You see, it looks like Shen's trying to kind of find a reset, but he doesn't actually even quite have his ultimate up yet, which is actually really, really good for the side of Neogen.
Oh my god.
Paxax going aggressive into the bot lane there is trying to find a lot of damage.
Great cataclysm, but good barrier from Ezreal to live long enough. I can't believe he lived through that. Zoob is actually looking for a gank on Cuddlebun.
Zoob might actually end up getting just completely chopped up here, but Malak is also in tow. Look at Cuddle's damage. That was absolutely crazy. They do end up finding him, but this means Neogen is going to have the prio onto this dragon here. And that was, Zoob just went a little too hard onto Cuddle, and he paid the ultimate price with the grave.
I just think that, I mean, they had to bring 3 top for Cuddlebun on the Yorick, including Zoob on the Lee Sin. It just leaves the dragon completely open, especially after they force Worm, Jones, and Tangy out. That's just, I don't know. I feel like Neogen's probably pretty happy with that. I mean, yeah, Cuddle dies. He gives up a plate or two maybe to Choros, but they get a dragon off the back of that, and he still trades a kill. I think that's pretty good.
Also got to play mid, too. I mean, I really don't think they're sad at all with this trade. This was pretty unfortunate for the side of Impact there. Losing a member on that gank top just kind of nullified that gank.
Yeah. Yep. I can't agree more. And, you know, this is going exactly the way that we said that it needed to. We needed Vuso to get these early picks and to show up to these fights early. We needed Prophet to get ahead. We needed Yorick to stay ahead and be super strong and a bully in top lane. And Packy is just sitting around collecting the assists, collecting some gold on these kills. He's going to be a menace late game. It's like we predicted it, and then we spoke it into existence.
Yep, and look towards mid here. They are trying to engage onto Malak. Malak does get knocked up, but they're going pretty aggressive here onto this fight. Prophet does find himself on the wrong side of that tower, and he gets popped.
Yeah, it was a good ultimate from the Zoe there to buffer some of that CC and dodge the flag drag damage, and then get the turnaround bubble onto Prophet. That was a good play from Malak there.
Yeah, I gotta give it to him. He created enough space, but now you're seeing an engage in the bot side. Paxax jumps aggressively onto Worm Jones.
Shen.
Arcane shifts over. Shen is there now. That's a little bit scary. It does look like Paxax knocks away Worm Jones, but that is going to be a good ultimate from Shen to end up saving him. Band Director one shot here, trying to find his way out. And they do end up giving up a lot of prio, though, towards the top side. I'm wondering if they're going to be able to get tower or top here. But no ult for Vuso to chase that one down, unfortunately.
Just for you.
I don't know if you saw that in that fight, Poppy, but Packy sort of had a little bit of a sidestep, and I think Choros just kind of misjudged the taunt. I think they had that double kill if they landed the taunt on Packy, but just barely misses out on it. And they have to just kind of walk away with nothing after Choros uses that ult, and then he has to TP straight back top lane just to defend the Cuddlebun. Now he's got no ability to show up for any of these fights, and Cuddle's just going to constantly shove him in. They're going to be able to pick up the Rift Herald and invade into their topside jungle, and Band Director is just basically leaving Packy by himself now. He is a roaming death squad with Prophet.
Yeah, I like this right now, but you guys still be careful. Prophet,
look at this.
You know,
look at this.
He's only level 8.
He doesn't know.
He's gonna walk right in. He's gonna find some damage, but do they have? I don't think they have the damage to kill that Braum with that shield up.
No.
Interesting here. You know, Zoob has now actually found a level lead over Prophet. Prophet's been looking for so many of these aggressive plays that he's actually given up a little bit of farm and XP. Zoob has been able to claw his way back in this game.
I'm not too worried about it, though, because I think that even though Zoob is up a level, his gold lead is not really there. And Prophet is getting so much for his team with getting these objectives and setting up the ganks. I mean, let's just take a look at the kills here. 2-1 on Cuddle. Packy's 0-0, but he's going to find a great engage onto Worm Jones. Oh, no. He does break the vision. He's going to have to get out of there.
Wow. Packy tries to insect Worm Jones into... Did he hit that?
He did. He had to cleanse that bubble.
Uh-oh.
He's got to get out of there. Packy's got to get out of there.
But it looks like Band is there, and the Zoe doesn't want to continue chasing it.
Zoob is even
looking around. Yeah, but I don't know if they're going to end up finding anything. Band is down there now, though, so that's good. But Zoob is lying in wait. They got to be pretty dang careful here. It looks like Prophet is making his way down towards the bot side, so they might be able to spot him out. Prophet taking the chickens right now, and Zoob just lying in wait.
Yeah, he's got a lot of vision in this jungle, but he doesn't really have any backup right now other than Tangy. Band Director's going to spot him on doing the red, and Prophet's going to walk right over. They might just have to get out of this. Prophet wants the engage. He finds the Cataclysm onto 2. Zoob goes in with the Dragon Strike kick backwards. He finds the kill onto Prophet, and the rest of the team for Neogen just can't show up in time. Zoob dashes over the wall. It's a great bubble from Black there. And in the meantime, Cuddle is just gonna... Okay. I didn't know that he had flash up, but yeah, that makes it pretty easy.
He just put a shovel in him at the end there. The flash shovel right to the face.
The flash shovel. The old flash
dumpster. Hit by a flash shovel, boy.
The old flash dumpster.
The old flash dumpster got him on that one. Yeah, that was all it took. And Cuddle finds a nice little kill. But it does look like the side of Impact here is going to try to take this dragon. Get their first dragon on the board.
You know, I gotta say, I was a little bit skeptical of the Zoe pickup, but Black is actually piloting it super well. He's had some really, really good roams, found some great bubbles, and he's been able to set his team up well. And, you know, even though Zoob is 0-3, let's take a look at the gold here. He's almost even on gold with Prophet.
Yeah, and you see another aggressive play towards the bottom there. You see Packy jumps aggressively onto Black, but he had exhaust. That darn Zoe skill, he gets that free summoner, and he had exhaust, and he saw all the damage from coming out.
Neogen has now rotated Cuddlebun to the bot lane. He's 3-1 now with a Homebreaker. This York is going to be an unstoppable split lane threat. I don't actually know if anyone can stop him.
Yeah, that's really scary, and I really don't think you can at this point. I mean, who, honestly, on this side of Impact is really going to be able to do anything here? You know, Cuddlebun is going to sustain so much damage. Worm Jones doesn't have the DPS. Zoob definitely doesn't have the DPS. Nope. Choros doesn't have the DPS. It's going to take 3 characters to take him down like we saw earlier. And that's going to really open the map up for Neogen.
Yeah, I think him having such a threat on the map is going to set up the rest of Neogen to just take what they want. Because I think you're right. Until about... It's going to be about another 10 to 15 minutes before Worm Jones is able to do enough damage to Cuddlebun to kill him. And Packy, every single time he sees Worm Jones on the map, he just aggressively rocket jumps at him and gives him a couple autos.
What are Packy's items right now? He's probably finished Yuntal, if I had to guess. Yeah, finished the Yuntal. Looks like he's probably going for Navori's potentially here with that Zeal. He definitely doesn't have the damage yet to one-shot this Ezreal, but wait till he gets Infinity Edge third item. This Tristan's going to really do some
Yeah, Triss is going to be... I mean, we all know Tristana is this hyper carry. Oh? Do they not? Oh, I guess they didn't see him. He must have been in the fog.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't. I didn't even realize I had the Fog of War on this whole time. But yeah, I don't think they spotted the Zoe on that one.
Yeah, no, I think he was able to get out sneakily, which was really good from Black. Bit of a lull here in this game now. You know, this mid game has taken a little bit of a quiet turn while the objectives are down. Atacon is starting to spawn. You've got Zoob and Tangy just hanging out for some vision. Oh, Band does spot them out here, and a nice little sidestep.
Oh my God, I didn't even see that. Hold on, I gotta take that back. He died so quickly before I could even get over there.
Buso, does he end up taking I think he takes a bubble. Yep. That darn pesky bubble. Black finds him on the kill there, and they find a good pick onto Buso there.
That is unfortunate there. For Buso. I mean, that Zoe is really strong, and as you said before, the Zoe Lee Sin combo is a lot of damage.
Yeah, it really is. They find that pick, and they can annihilate any of the switchier characters here. Honestly, even probably Prophet, too. Prophet's not really building too much health yet. He hasn't gotten his bruiser items, so yeah, it's going to be another 2 items before Prophet really can take much.
Great rocket jump from Packy there. Oh, Prophet's going to drop the Rift Herald.
I don't think they should take this fight, though. They need to back off. Zoob is right around the corner. There's a lot of damage come down from Worm Jones. That Ezreal's actually hurting pretty bad right now. They do find the mid-tower take, though, so that's not the worst thing ever.
No.
But it does look like they are trying to position to take Atacon now on the side of Impact.
Yeah, I think Prophet going for the Eclipse first. I don't know if I would say it's a total troll, but I think you just go Sundered Sky first here, so you have a little bit of that sustain and a little bit more bulk.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I see what he's thinking, but Prophet is pretty much the front line for the team right now with Cuddle being on the side lane.
Definitely so. I just think that, you know, Eclipse is hot as a nerf over the year, you know. There's been quite a few that have hit that item. I still think it's a strong item, but it makes it so squishy. It makes you so squishy, and you're seeing it right now. I definitely agree with you. I think the Sundered Sky would have been a better move for Prophet to pick up, and then probably getting a Black Cleaver, and then just going straight tank after that point.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I see where he's going for. The Eclipse is, the really nice thing about Eclipse is that it's cheap. So it's a quick item pickup. It's a quick spike. But he already knew that he wasn't really the carry of this game. You know, he got his team the gold. He funneled the gold into his team. He funneled the objectives into his team. I think you just kind of assume the role of that sort of brawly fighter. You know, you do have a little bit of damage with the Sundered Sky, but it's more about you being able to sustain when you go in with the Flag Drag and Cataclysm. And he's not really able to do that right now. And Band Director isn't that much tankier either.
No, not at all. And I think right now, this is a little bit scary. You know, Vancouver Impact definitely has.
Yeah, they have to bring
right here.
They're bringing Cuddle to this fight. They have to.
Yeah, and what I'm worried about here is these Zoe bubbles. They have got to dodge these Zoe bubbles. If one of these lands onto one of the squishy targets, this could actually spell disaster. And Zoe's trying to posture to get some long-range ones. Finds it onto Paxax. That's a really, really big
good
pickup.
block up.
This Zoe, yep, nice block.
Okay, Zuso is on the flank too.
Oh, another one.
Wow, Band steals it!
Band finds the steal onto the dragon, and this fight is not over. Buso on the back line. He's trying to fly forward to find the spear, but he's not able to find the charm onto him. Cuddleblunt and Prophet are on the other end here having a fight. Just chopping them up. The ghouls are just absolutely eating up the side of Vancouver Impact, but it looks like the rest of Neogen don't want to take this fight any further. Prophet goes forward, but he's actually going to catch a paddle star right to the face. Mlack is honestly playing really well in the Zoe, but just doesn't have the damage yet to finish up the kills. Neogen finds the dragon.
Oh, he catches Mlack in the cage. Oh, but the Shin ult comes through. Is Cuddle going to be able to outlive this? I think he should be able to. Oh no, the Shin flashes aggressively forward. He's got to sidestep this Lee Sin, but it's a great Q for the region. Just not quite enough, and Shin's going to find another taunt on the Band Director under that tower. The Shin is actually a bit beefier than I expected him to be.
Yeah, now they're going to try to force down this tower here and try to find this first crack onto the bot side. They do move 3 of their characters down there just to make it happen.
I kind of want to watch. I'm kind of waiting for things to cool down, but I want to watch that dragon fight back. Band Director steals the dragon away. What an absolute Chad just walking in. I want to know if did he auto attack it? Like, what happened here?
Yeah, Mr. Clean himself, you know, I mean, this is just a tried and true. When in doubt, Band is going to find a way, and he makes it happen here on this dragon. Let's see what ends up happening. Okay. Dragon is started up here. A little bit
they find the bubble onto Packy. They body block.
Yeah, this Zoe found 2 really nice bubbles on the Packy twice right here.
And then the Braum walks up and goes for the knock-up. What does Band Director even steal it with? Oh, he had Smite!
Wait.
He had Smite from the ultimate spell book!
Oh,
that's how he got it!
Big brain Band. That is a awesome pickup. I've seen this being played a lot more too for supports around the regions. They've been picking up this unsealed spellbook, and this entire game I had no idea Band even had it. Talk about an awesome pickup there.
I love it. I love it. I love it so much. That's phenomenal. I was like, how did he steal that? He wasn't even close to it to auto attack it, and then I see a Smite come down.
Not at all. That was amazing. I mean, awesome play there. A heads-up move to change it to Smite prior to that fight taking place. Band, you get a hero's medal on this one, man. That was a heroic play, and honestly, Neogen's going to be really happy at the end of that there.
Yep.
Getting another objective, and now they're on soul point for when the next dragon comes.
Yeah, you know what I'm really worried about, though? This Ezreal just finished his Muramana. He's pretty ramped up, I'm not going to lie. And the Shin is really not that far behind. He's 2-1 with only 20 CS down on Cuddle, and he's got his Thornmail finish. Plus, it looks like he's going... Is he going... What builds from
He's going for
Zeal?
Navori. I think
that-
he's going Navori as well. Yeah, this has been a pickup that Shins have been going here. This
To get
this
those extra
Navori
taunts.
Quick Blade. Yeah, you get the extra taunts, the extra Qs. You're able to keep your W up more often as well. It just reduces all these cooldowns and makes him this brawling just menace.
It's pretty interesting. I haven't seen that yet on the Shin, but I might even have to try that myself soon. I kind of like it.
It's probably a good pickup too into something like the Yorick or into these like heavy brawling characters that want to win the side lane. You can kind of nullify a lot of his auto attack damage and still pose a really big threat in the lane yourself and bully them back out.
Yeah, no, that's a really interesting pickup. I didn't know that was a thing that was happening, but he's pretty strong, all things considered. I think you know, Prophet is a little bit behind still to Zoob, and you know, I gotta say I was a little bit surprised to see Zoob still make such a strong impact in this game so far with how far behind he was early on.
Yeah, he was so unimpactful early that he's really came back and turned this one around for himself pretty well. But, you know, again, Prophet's not out of this by any means. He has the utility in the CC to still
and he
make
finished
a
under
gigantic
Sky.
impact. That's a huge pickup, man. That's a huge pickup.
And Cuddle just finished his Black Cleaver on this last back. So he's now at 3 items with a Hull Breaker. I'm not even sure that the Shin is going to be able to handle the Yorick anymore by himself, even with that Quick Blade. I think the Hull Breaker plus the Black Cleaver to shred through the Shin's armor. I don't know. I think it could be pretty tough for him.
Yeah, I think what we really need to see here, though, is Aki needs to get this Infinity Edge completed. And once he completes the Infinity Edge, things are going to get a lot better. He didn't quite have the cash. It's an expensive item. He's so close, but he definitely just needs to get this one finished off. Dragon coming up again in another 30, 45 seconds here. This is going to be the big fight here coming up. This is what Neogen needs.
A lot of pings going on down here. There's a lot of vision actually already down for Impact here. Clearing out even more. They didn't grab either of these 2 deep wards back here, and Cuddle has his TP up.
Yep, Dragon is now up as well here. This is going to be a big fight. You know, Neo really wants to get this. This is a gigantic soul to grab. It's going to be an interesting fight that we see here.
Yeah. Busto's on the flank. That Band Director's already chunked out to half. He has to use his W just to dodge the bubble, but Cuddle's just chasing this Shin down. They're actually going to just turn and give the Dragon and go for the Shin instead. I kind of like this
move. Yeah, good move on the pickup there, and now they can try to look for the fight on the back end.
Oh, it's a great charm.
Yeah, nice charm onto Zoob. Zoob now trying to come back forward here. Wants to find a bit of a fight, but the rest of Neogen has them a bit corralled.
They're just going to shove the mid lane.
Yep, that's a lot of damage, though, coming from this Ezreal. Worm Jones is doing a lot of damage on these Qs. Zoob and the friends are trying to find a way into this fight, and the rest of Neogen, nice charm comes down on a Tangy. Tangy does get locked up a little bit there from Neogen, but this is such a slow, methodical fight. It's whoever gets hit by a Zoe bubble here, or whoever gets hit by the next charm, that's the one that dies.
I really like this heads-up play from Neogen. They actually just concede the Dragon. They're like, okay, whatever. It's our soul point. It's not yours. If you want to go for the Dragon, we're just going to go kill your Shin instead. And then they set up mid lane Prio. They back Cuddle. He TPs back in, and now they've got 5 members, pretty full health, ready to take this Dragon down and get soul before Shin even spawns. And it's just too late. The Shin's trying to TP in, but it's just not going to matter. They're already at half HP.
Yep, Zoop ends up falling on the back end of that. Cuddlebun does find a kill credit, and now the rest of Neogen is just going to power themselves down and just put all that gold to use. They are just completely cutting down the side of Vancouver Impact. Double kill from Packy there. Big fight took place after that. It was so sad. Vancouver just tried to throw everything they could to stop that Dragon take in a complete desperation. But an out macro masterclass coming from Neogen there to just whittle the health bars down, Cuddle TPs back in. Vancouver has no chance.
Yeah, I mean, and look at this. Cuddle's even just going to take the mid tower while they get Baron. I think this is going to be a free inhib for them.
Yeah, it very well could be. I mean, the Braum is the first one up, but Braum's not going to be able to stop that, and neither will Lee Sin. Cuddle ends up getting an inhib. Baron, a Red Bull Baron, not sponsored by Red Bull Baron Power Play, comes down for now for Neogen. I mean, they're sitting really pretty. This game just completely swung in Neogen's favor.
Yeah, they kind of blew that one out of the water there. A Dragon Soul plus Baron and a one-team fight. That is a lot of positives for the side of Neogen, and really nothing to take away there for Impact. They got nothing out of that. They got aced, they lost both objectives, and they lost their inhib.
Yeah, that's about as bad as it gets without just seeing the defeat screen in your Nexus blow up.
I kind of want to take it back and take a look at this fight one more time. Just because I kind of want to go back and just rewatch this from the Shin play, right? Like, you know, Cuddle chases the Shin down. Band Director using the Ghost from Ultimate Spellbook plus a flash with his ultimate to find the Shin. And then they just march it right back over to here. They whittle down some health bars. Yeah, great heads-up play here. They push this mid-wave in, and they find a charm onto Braum. Yep. Cuddle just
the dance.
Yep, Cuddle just backs. They dance and dance and dance. They get the poke down. Zoob, yep, taking some more auto attacks. Cuddle's just gonna back here. Yeah, they find the Cataclysm. They're just really forcing all of Impact out of this.
Very good play here. And then they're just going to be able to just completely get control of the Dragon. They burst it down. Zoob tries desperately to get close enough, but look, he's just getting corralled, getting rolled around. He can't do anything here.
He even look, did you see that? Cuddle even positioned the Maiden to block the Battlestar. Yep. And then just an incredible front-to-back team fight. Look at Packy just standing in the Dragon Pit, just autoing. I don't even know how many autos he got off this fight, but it had to be at least 10 to 15. He gets a first rocket jump in, gets the reset on the Tengi. He gets a second rocket jump in.
Yeah, just absolutely able to free fire there, and it spells disaster.
And I think in the meantime, we're just seeing Cuddle. I'll kind of fast forward here a little bit and get us back to live here. They're just walking this Baron in. You know, Choros can't really fight the Cuddle Bun anymore. He's going to take that tower down. The 4v4 in mid lane is not going very well for them. Packy just goes into the back line, finds a kill. They get 2. It's going to be 3. It's going to be 4 onto Tengi. I think that's just going to be the game.
That's game right there. Neogen's going to end up finding the end of this one here out the back of a really, really nice fight. Just using that gigantic lead that they got from Soul, from Baron, from all that gold being funneled in. They just pushed it right through to the very end. Neogen Esports puts the nail in the coffin. Vancouver is done, and that's the win, baby.
Yeah, I can't say much more other than that was just some of the most incredible macro play I've seen from the boys so far. The confidence and the quick decision making to watch Cuddle taking on this fight with the Shin, and they just decide to peel off the Dragon. It's beautiful. It's perfect macro. They played the fight patiently. They got the pick on the Shin when they needed to. They whittled down the health bars, and then they take a very, very advantageous 5v4 fight right before the Shin spawns. You couldn't ask for a better textbook chess match in a League of Legends game. And for it to secure the victory for not only Game 3, but for the whole series for Neogen, that's going to put them at 4-1 so far in this Titan season. Poppy, do you got anything else that you want to say about that game or about the whole series, actually?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you hit the nail on the head. It was a great series. They went down early on, took a loss in Game 1. Really dominant performance from Vancouver, but unfortunately, they didn't have the macro or the champ pool depth that was needed in this fearless draft, and you really saw it in Game 2 and Game 3 there. Incredible play by the boys, incredible play by Neogen, and you know, for anybody that does end up watching this YouTube VOD here, we're sorry we weren't able to live stream this game. You can catch the live stream VOD on Twitch on the Titan Esports page here. But, you know, this is all about Neogen. You're watching the VOD because you want to see the boys rock it out. I just want to give a big thank you again to everybody that did watch tonight. Thank you to production. Thank you to the players. And most importantly, thank you to the fans and all you guys who tune in and watch us week after week. We are just so grateful for your support. Yeah, man, great game. come back again. We'll probably be either having a stream in the next couple days on Thursday, or just come back for next week's game in Titan League. Week 6 will hit next Tuesday at 8 o'clock.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us on this VOD. Thanks to everyone for joining in, and we will catch you guys next time.